implies that I shouldn't have a charge of my Eldritch Cannon, right?
Sorry?
I, looking at my character sheet, I currently have it marked as still having 1 out of 1 charges for creating my Eldritch Cannon, but if we did have 10 hit points earlier,
Yeah.
I'm assuming I must have used that at some point.
I believe you, because you started this day at like the Star Temple. So, and I think you had created a cannon at that point.
I'll just mark that as 0.
But last we left off, just recap wise, you guys were in the Stratos Wilds en route to Muhtal, a hidden headquarters of the Hermetic Host, guild ran by Grajan Quickdust, in your hunt to try to overthrow the work of Selny Vaughn. You avoided various secrets and threats within the forest, and eventually entered Muhtal proper. You had entered a vapor-filled tavern called the Boiling Over Pot Tavern, and not spotting Grajan, you left, and it chose to make direct contact through a sending spell, pretending to be inspectors from Brinstriana, or Brinstriana, as I think is technically how she's pronounced it. One of the workers, a tiefling named Morali, escorted you guys to Grajan's workshop, where he interrogated you and your purpose. Things got heated pretty quickly, and although some of you were benefiting from the enhanceability spell, things didn't add up and the dice did not agree with you. So Grajan dropped a fireball and all hell broke loose. He has since dimension doored out of here, calling to the people within the room to rendezvous at the lumber mill. And that is where we left off. In the middle of a combat, this individual who has initiative looks into this room with the flame sort of erupting from everywhere, seeing the door on the left side and the door on the bottom through a passageway of fire. He chooses to instead go for the window. Going to make a athletics check, say like DC 10 to just break a pretty, no, probably more like DC 13-ish to break a window. He takes kind of just his elbow and smashes through it, and then starts to climb out, spending his action and looking back at you all as he seems to exit this space.
I have a question.
Sure.
When Grajan mentioned the lumber mill, did that spark any images in any of our minds? Did we walk past the lumber mill on the way into the little town?
Yeah, the lumber mill, you would know, was, so within the town there had been, when you were sort of overlooking it, there were 3 main areas. There was the Boiling Pot Tavern on the inside. There was sort of like a living area, huts, thing like that, sort of surrounding it, living quarters and whatnot. And then there seemed to be a lumber mill on the far side from where you started. So you haven't actually walked through the lumber mill yet, but you did sort of see it on the horizon.
Right. Was it a closed or open lumber mill?
I mean, it seemed to have one larger warehouse building and sort of like a side shed as well.
Okay.
But Drada, it's your turn.
I think we might have
They
just
dropped.
lost.
We'll come back to Drada. Mouse. You are currently on fire. You could please enjoy 1 hit point of damage.
We can do that.
And this alchemical fire is slightly different than normal fire. You have to spend an action and then do a DC 10 dex save to get it off, FYI.
Then I will not bother while there are still people in the room. It seems like my party mates are going to continue attacking the other two in the room.
I think so.
I might have a plan. Well, I might dimension door 2 of us out to get us closer to the lumber mill.
Yeah, in that case, I will keep attacking. I will take a couple steps away from the fire.
This, just for reminder's sake, this one in the corner got hit by a fireball and is not looking good. The other two, the other one that they're surrounding looks pretty healthy.
I show that I can't take action while the game is paused.
Oh, yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
Cool. I'm going to take a couple steps forward. Okay. It won't let me move because it's not my turn. But I'm going to take a couple steps forward. And then I will first archer form the guy to the south.
Okay. This guy
Nice.
is absolutely decimated. He had 3 hit points left.
Perfect. And then I will also guiding bolt this lady over here.
Okay.
Come on, another nat 20.
Still a good roll. 11 radiant damage for sure. These lumberjacks do look a little bit more hardy than the sort of like bomb throwing alchemists are, but she looks back at you with anger.
When she looks, I will kind of duck down, hiding slightly behind a chair at this table. And that will be my turn.
Okay. Having turned back, oh, we may have Jacob back. If so, you are muted. Okay. Hello. We cannot hear you, but you're muted right now. No, we can't hear. No microphone at all, unfortunately. We'll sort that out in a moment. This individual will we'll come back to your turn, Jacob, once you've experimented a bit. This person, looking at the situation, surrounded by enemies, would love to try and escape as well. I think they're going to try to push past Clax. Because they're kind of in a tight spot. So, Clax, can you make an athletics check?
Sure thing. Yeah.
So I'm sort of choosing to say that Clax is the only one who's holding the line in this, but they sort of, in moving past Clax's space, they're able to also then move corner to corner and jump past Flint. You all do still get opportunity attacks as they sort of leave this space, though.
The first one gets advantage, I think.
Yes,
right?
from the guiding bolts.
You want me to take it since I swung first?
I think it's whoever swings first with the guiding bolt.
Yeah, they don't really have quality melee attacks, so you should probably take it. A 20 does hit for 13 damage. Sort of looks back at all you for just a brief moment before jumping out as well, and disappearing some distance around the corner. Drada, if your microphone works, you could probably get some pot shots out the window. If you
Hey,
don't.
does my microphone work?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Actually, really good now.
Gorgeous. You love to see it, kid.
So you still can
I
sort
also
of
got-
retroactively take your turn if you like. They both jumped out the
I
window.
would love to. I'm so sorry.
All good.
I would love to take pot shots, and then, if it's possible, also because I still have Hunter's Mark cast on our dear friend. So
Yes.
I would love to be able to. I don't know if this is an action or just how to go about trying to make either perception or a survival check to ascertain, like, if I can jump out the window, pop out a window, see where he's going, like, quickly and within line of sight. That's what I would love to do, ideally.
Sure. Go ahead and make some. Do you want to shoot for the pot shots? Because
Yeah.
you look out the window and Graygen is not immediately visible. So would you prefer to prioritize your 3 attacks on the alchemist or the lumberjack?
I would probably go. Is that audible?
I heard you would probably go.
Alchemist.
Okay. Yes. Please feel free. I'm trying to read Hunter's Mark to figure out the details. A 25 definitely hits.
It's just a random guy. These do not have anything fancy attached to them.
Yeah. And no sneak attack either.
No. Oh, it could be sharpshooting, but next round. It's still 27 damage. I'll take it.
Yes, that is considerable. This one had not been hurt, but as you sort of like lay waste to them from afar, you see that they like hobble around a corner where you then lose sight of them, but they are not looking good. Go ahead and roll me a perception or survival check to sort of look at your Hunter's Mark. Okay.
Do I roll with advantage because of? I'm trying to remember the wording.
Oh,
of
yes, it
Hunter's
does. Yes, you do.
Mark. I read the book.
There you go. So Hunter's Mark does not necessarily serve as an auto tracker radar of any kind, but I think like as you're looking out the window, you hear kind of like a sound that Gerada would not recognize, but you, Jacob, may recognize as the sounds of like distant klaxons. There's like an almost like megaphone like alarm going off that is not so loud that it's permeating into the space, but you do hear those alarms going off in a northward direction, and you sort of you look down there and it seems like that's where the lumber mill is.
I think before popping out a window or heading out on my way, would just scream at everyone. He's gone northward. The lumber mill, it's to the north.
Got it.
Now, functionally, the enemies have disappeared off the map. So I would ask, what is it that you're doing, or are you taking any time before rushing northward? It would technically be, Clax, then Flint, then Aesop, but I'm just giving you some like open space to plan.
I would suggest to everyone that I could dimension door 2 of us closer to the lumber mill. If we have.
Let's go.
All right.
Jumping down off.
I was
gonna-
planning on running over, trying to find a high vantage point, and taking some shots at Fabled.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna make my way right to Aesop. I'll jump off that second story thing or whatever, just to get close to him as quickly as possible. Don't want to lose any time.
Okay. So you're dimension dooring to somewhere you haven't been before. So
Nope.
are you trying to just sort of like appear in the center of the area?
Following Gerada's directions, I think I would go northward. Gerada, do you know how far away it was? Did you actually see it?
Hey DM, did I get a sense of how
so-
far away
so-
those sounds were?
So you as a user of Dimension Door, you know that the lumber mill is within 500 feet.
Yes.
The question is, where do you want to appear within it when you don't necessarily have a pinpoint on where Grajan has gone? So you can kind of like drop into the center of the lumber yard, or there's like a shed you can go into, or there's a house. So it's sort of like, you know, if you're not taking the time to assess the area, then the question is, where do you want to appear?
I think I would want to appear on the outside next to, I guess I wouldn't know where any doors are, but near the outside area so we could rush in.
Okay. It has like although it's kind of like a crappy fence, it does have like a fence with a gate that you can appear right outside.
Okay. Do we have to get through the gate to get inside?
The gate is, you would know, or you would have known from the vantage point you had earlier that the gate does appear to be closed.
Okay. Let's teleport just inside the gate so we don't have to worry about knocking that over, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound good, Clax?
Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
I pull out my book and I like, what is it? It's it's just verbal. So the book's kind of more of a flare as I open the book and it floats out from my hands. It's almost like another astral book clamps down on us as we teleport away.
Okay. So, and the rest of you, Flint, Mouse, Drata, this is probably, I would say, I'd say roughly 300 feet away. And so they disappear and you have some ground to make up.
I would rush up behind Drata and recast Enhance ability, but give you Cat's Grace, which minimizes damage from falling 20 feet or more, and point to the window. And then I will run towards Flint because I think the two of us can find a way to move faster if we need to. How many rooms do we run through to get here? Like, does this door where Aesop is lead directly outside?
Yes.
Or there's a window to the north that they all jumped out of.
They all jumped out of a window in the north, but then the west and south are doors.
Oh, I also need to put myself out if I have time to do so.
Yeah, that's fine. Just roll me a dexterity saving throw and take 4 more fire damage. We'll say it. This is not a concentration problem. Okay. So you do put yourself out, and you and Flint. So just so that we can shift the camera where it needs to be, what do you do to make up speed in order to rejoin this encounter?
I'm gonna look at Flint and be, you good?
Yeah, you've got a good idea. Let's.
Then I will wild shape, jump out the window and wild shape into a dire wolf. Because those are fast.
Sure. I think Flint had jumped out the window expecting Mouse to turn into like a horse or elk or whatever.
You could jump on a dire wolf if you want to try.
Yeah, and expected to jump on and sees a wolf and is like, all right, sure, and tries to ride a wolf.
Alrighty.
I cooperate.
And I think Drata is truly just sprinting, which mechanically, if he is taking the dash action, running, and bonus action dashing, is 105 feet in a round.
Yeah,
So-
and a dire wolf is 50 feet and then a dash. So you guys are actually keeping pretty good pace with Drata.
That makes Drata feel so much more competent for the time being.
Okay. With that in mind, sorry, I'm just making a slight adjustment to this map with what has been shared. So we are going to sorry, wasn't anticipating it to all happen so quickly. Okay, so the dimension door happens, and you all pop, both Aesop and Klax pop out on the other side of the gate. Looking, you sort of are immediately crossed with that sort of screeching siren sound that is a little bit louder now that you're here, but is not like ear-piercingly debilitating or anything like that. It is a simple alarm system. We are going to roll a new initiative. I'm going to make everybody roll, but the Drata, your Dread Ambusher stuff does not activate until you are in the combat. For the purposes of this, you guys are not rejoining the combat until round 3, because you guys are just a little bit further behind. And you'll be starting approximately where you are now once that begins.
On the way over there, can I burn a spell slot and just summon my Eldritch Cannon? I'll do the one that shoots arrows.
Yeah, you're good. Let me bring that token out for you. Once I remember how to use Foundry. Okay, here it is. So let's get everybody to roll an initiative, if you do not mind.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
I don't see. I might need added to the list in Wild Shade.
I see your wolf on there.
Do you have access to use the wolf, maybe? Let me see. I'm just going to add mouse to the board. Oh, you got it. Okay. I'm adding mouse to the board anyway, just so you can quick swap if you need to. Okay. Oh, let me take this cannon off. It does not have initiative. Okay. So again, round 3 is when the backup team will enter this space. All right. So, first up in initiative, as you guys pop out of this dimension door, you see this one individual who is sort of stepping out of this sort of larger lumber mill building, who sort of like looks at you and says, "Shit, they're here," and starts to let's see. You see they sort of look in the situation, and they take this potion that they have at their waist and they drink it, and what you notice is that their eyes start to glow red as he enters a somewhat permanent, like a 10-minute rage in the sort of, what is it called, reckless attack sort of rage. He is going to spend his movement to just get a little closer. Drata is still on the way. There are a few other people who, in reaction to the alarms, you start to hear movement from inside the house as a few more folks are sort of answering the call. You don't see all of them yet, but you hear the sounds of like wooden footsteps from within the house. Drada. If you can start your turn, both Drada and Klax, if you can give me a perception check.
Drada or Aesop?
Sorry, Aesop and Klax.
You said perception?
Yes.
Oh my god, 2 4s in a row. All right, it's fine. It's fine. Getting low numbers out of the way.
Okay. I'm withholding information until Klax's turn.
Hot. Klax, I know it's gonna sound strange, but I think I can hit Grajan from here. All you gotta do is protect me.
I got it.
Okay. I've used this spell before, but I haven't used this part of it. I'll put it in chat. It's my like psychic lance ability. Oh, it did all the damage for me. But alternatively, I can utter a creature's name, and if he's within range from me, it'll hit.
Okay.
So as long as he's in 120 feet.
That's actually might be tight. Let me measure.
Ooh.
Oh, it is within range. Okay.
And that's intelligence saving throw on his part.
Alrighty.
Oh, that's so
Got a pretty
that's
high
a lot.
save.
That's fine. That's fine.
But
takes 11 damage.
nonetheless 11 damage. I'm going to let you re-roll your earlier perception check as Grajan somewhere around here makes a grunting sound.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Unfortunately, still not quite enough to see. You hear the sound of, like, you know that it landed because you hear a sort of like a god damn it, like somewhere north of you, but you're just you can't pinpoint exactly where.
Would Klax have a better understanding, maybe, if he was?
Well, Klax already succeeded the check, so I'm waiting until the end of your turn to reveal.
I see. So that I'm staying where I'm at because it looks like they're coming straight towards us. So I'm that's the end of my turn.
Okay. So you're, any bonus actions?
Yes, I will. How many? I want to make sure. Ooh. All right, Klax, you're getting my last one. You're getting my last bardic inspiration.
Thank you.
Okay. Flint, you are en route. Klax, before your turn starts, you, with your higher perception check, you hear the sounds of a hatch being opened. And you hear sort of with that grunt of pain that Grajan shared, you hear and sort of are able to barely see that they are sort of fiddling with something all the way in this shed over here.
Is this the same one from the tavern or whatever place?
No. And in fact, I think like the ones that are hurt are probably being passed by the other team right now.
Okay. All right, gotta still protect Aesop. What's your and this might be a DM question here in a second, but I'm gonna start with Aesop. What's your AC just in general?
AC with everything on. Where is it? Where can I find
17.
it on my 17? Thank you.
Yep.
Right.
All right, so it's not that bad anymore. Okay.
No.
Okay. All right, I'm going to move 20 feet straight forward.
All right, I had to make it your turn.
Okay, and actually, so 20, 25. It's been a while, but I have 30 feet. Yep, there it is. So there's my 30 feet to kind of get inside and stay in combat. I'm going to go ahead and immediately strike.
Okay, these all have advantage because they're reckless permanently.
Okay. All right, so let's go here. And you said advantage on the first attack.
That is certainly hit.
Okay, second attack. And I know it's been a hot minute. I'm still at 2 attacks, right? At level 9?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, my
Sec-
Foundry just died, so
all good.
keep rolling.
Yep. Hit 25 to hit for 9 slashing.
Okay.
And I think
Any bonus actions?
not at this time for my bonus action. No, I'm good on bonus actions. And that's my turn because I want to make sure I stay in combat to kind of give a little bit of shield to Aesop until the others arrive.
Sure. And now that you're a little closer and you sort of have a clearer window into this shed that you briefly saw Grayson in, you also see what seems to be a sort of like large suit of armor that he's opening a hatch into.
I'll just yell, remember those things from the blood bag? We got another big robot.
No. Shit!
All right. Next team is closing in. Next round, you guys will begin initiative. And I'll say this just for your awareness too, Aesop, as you think about your turn, but you do know that your team is right behind you and the door is closed.
Okay.
There's just something to think about. This individual is just going to take a swipe at Klax if I can get my interface working. That was a natural 20, but damage is pretty low.
Okay, so 13.
13. These guys only have one attack. However, the rest of them will close in.
Don't mind as a reaction.
Sure.
I'm going to use the battle axe reaction. So DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Let me find the exact wording on it because it's been a hot minute since I've used it. But I believe if they don't pass, they passed. So I don't.
Yeah, they
think
passed.
anything happens with it.
Yeah, let me edit that so that it always shows up automatically. Okay. Yeah, so you shine some, is this the radiant light that you're throwing back at them? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, they're able to sort of shut their eyes off of it, but this one is going to close in on you as well. And is going to take, this one is not reckless yet, so they're just going to take a regular old swing. 15 misses.
Does not hit. Yep.
Okay. And the last two, they step outside but don't have the range to get to you, so they will themselves activate their. You see as they all pull off this this potion out from their sides that they must have for this very contingency when the alarms go off, that these two sort of start chugging. Aesop, it is your turn. You're muted, sorry.
Thank you. They're just all nicely grouped together, which is the problem. But there's a locked gate over there. Is it locked with an actual lock, or is it just closed?
It's just closed. You look back, you're like, oh, you need to spend your item interaction, which is free, to open it.
Okay. So it's a free action to just open it?
Yes.
Okay, then. Oh, maybe I should check to see if it's trapped. We'll open it.
It's open.
Great. So for my regular action, let me see. I think I could do it. I'm gonna do. Yep, I think this is the plan. I'm going to do my 5th level spell. Hypnotic.
I will say you still
Right.
can't see Grayson. I unhid him for Klax's sake.
Okay. I manage. Hopefully, I place the template correctly without hitting Klax. But it's 20-foot radius sphere, and each creature
Jesus.
Makes a intelligence saving throw.
What is this? What is this spell?
It's a creature with intelligence score 2 or lower can't be infected, which I'm pretty sure they're all smarter than that. Takes 8d6 psychic, and then if they fail, they're like muddled for a minute, and they roll minus d6 on their attacks and ability checks.
Jesus. I don't think I've ever seen this spell before. Okay.
It's my only 5th level slot, so hopefully most of the 2 20s.
Come on, 19 and a 20.
3 20s.
Wow.
Cheating.
Wow. Wow.
I want to promise something that, like, I know when you guys played that gambling game that I had hinted that I had installed a cheater mod, just in case Hardhold needed it, but that was actually just luck.
I was 100% joking.
Wow.
Well,
Those are some wild rolls.
With
they'll
a
still
minus
take
1.
the damage.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they all take 15 damage. That's still good. I think there's something about you're not sure what the deal is with this potion that they all drank. But they seem enraged right now.
I don't have any bardic inspiration, so that's my turn. Actually, I can't use. Actually, I'll move. I'll move out of the way. So I'll move. Let's see. I need to see how much feet I got because I don't remember 30 feet. Okay. I'll move. What's the to do automatically? Is it Control Shift with the to move to that location?
I don't remember. I think it's spacebar. Yeah.
Sure is. Thank you. And that's my turn.
All right. I am sorry that happened.
The wind was taken out of my sails completely.
On Graydon's turn, and as you're starting to sort of get a little closer, you do get that little glint of the robot that seems to be being entered right now. And on Graydon's turn, you do hear, or you sort of like get a slight glimpse as he climbs in and shuts the hatch. We are going to replace his initiative with this other initiative. Let me change that. There we go. Okay.
Made very little difference.
Yeah. But so ignore that. But you all hear as this machine starts to come online, as this engine starts to roar with flames that seem to be muffled by this like metal interior or metal casing, as you hear kind of through an almost like megaphone like system a mild cackle. Clax.
All right. I'm going to turn and see if I can't as many people as possible with enervating breath. So I'm going to spin it. I guess I can only really get 2, I guess. Or do you consider that all 3 of them right there?
I can't see it until you place it, but yeah,
okay.
If you place it, we can move it after.
Okay. What I'm trying to do.
Oh,
and if I can only get 2, that's fine. I'll just move one way or the other to get.
Yeah, you're centering it on yourself when in theory you can center it on the corner.
Ugh.
So
yeah, that corner works. Yeah, if I can only get 2, that's fine. But I'd like to do it on them. So it's a con DC 16 save.
Okay. This is one of your 2 attacks, I believe.
Correct.
One of them succeeds. Yeah. The further away one succeeds and the closer one fails.
All right, so they are incapacitated.
Okay. And this is the one. This is also the one that did not rage.
Okay. And then I will go ahead and take my remaining attack at the one I'd been striking in the previous round.
Okay.
And they rage, so it is advantage.
With advantage, yes.
Does a 15 hit?
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out other things. Yes, a 15 does hit.
All right, 14 slashing.
All right. She is looking still resilient, but you're not sure how much of that is the rage coursing through her.
Okay, that is my turn because I don't want to give them opportunity attacks, and that's it.
Okay. Oh, Drada, technically you had also Gift of Alacrity, so you might actually go first here. If you could roll a d8. No, just kidding.
Good try.
But Mouse with Flint on your back.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that I'm going to be very useful this turn. I'm going to run up to them and use my action to dash. But as I do so, I do want to roar and look intimidating.
Very well. And at what point is Flint jumping off?
This is a good question.
I'll say, like, you don't have to. You could fall as a free action. You don't have to.
Yeah. I think for the moment I'm gonna just stay on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a charisma wolf or an intimidation wolf check. Why not?
Yeah.
If you have to roll it. I would say at least a 15 to even get them to roll a DC or a saving throw. Okay. Well, one of them is incapacitated, so I'm going to say he's kind of immune because he doesn't have his senses.
He's very intimidated.
Let us sort of suss out these other three. What am I rolling? I guess wisdom. Wisdom save is what we're going to say. I'm failing at using interfaces. Okay. Not great for that one. So you don't actually have, like, I want to be clear, you don't have a cause fear ability, but these three people who were just alerted that combat was we're just alerted that combat was a potential thing happening. What I'm going to say is that on Drada's turn, as you sort of see the wolf charge in, these three people are now surprised. They're currently suffering from the surprise condition until their turn comes up, and then they can resume as normal. So do you have... So you're just dashing in, that's it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, this one is surprised. I'm using the term surprised loosely to enable Drada, but not removing their actions. So this one is just going to take a swing at the wolf that just charged it. These nat 20s.
No more. That's your
I'll
fifth one now.
I'll silvery barbs that out of spite.
It's fine. I'm a wolf.
Okay.
You're holding off then?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you suffer 17 damage as this guy reactively swings towards you. But Drada, it's your turn.
Alrighty, who? Remind me again. Who is our lovely surprised friends?
The three rightmost lumberjacks. So not the one directly above Clax.
Okay. Incredible. Yeah, Drada gonna move in as we go. And we'll start. I don't think it's gonna shift Hunter's Mark away from our friend in the mech suit. but will take some attacks against our surprised friends. Which I believe means I have advantage?
Yes.
Yes, and I also, if they're surprised, then theoretically sneak attack should also be working just fine. Just want to make clear.
Yes.
Great.
And
just for
assassinate
fun-
in this case.
Yes, and sharpshooter. So many fun things.
Yeah. So these three people are very vulnerable to Drata right now for this one turn.
Great. And yeah, I'm gonna be taking some shots at him. What's the button shortcut for rolling with advantage again?
Shift.
Thank you. Great.
Unfortunately, that one does not hit.
Crazy.
I assume you're trying to focus the weakest one.
Yes.
As you're busting down the gate. Okay. So roll an additional D8 for your. Well, actually, you still have one more attack.
I will be taking one more attack.
Okay. And then you'll roll an additional D8 on one of these attacks.
Okay. Did I just roll an extra time?
Yeah,
Sorry if I did.
That's all good. I will take this one out.
Thank you. Rolling an additional D8.
And then
no crit.
And then 2d6 for sneak attack.
Yes. Also, Rude, how did you get so many crits and we got none? How dare.
I can't help you. Okay. Oh, sorry. One more d8 because it was double dice for the assassinate. Okay. So collectively, your shots would deal 18 damage, 12 damage. Oh, sorry. No, the 12 missed. 18 damage. Tough. Fucking yeah. Okay. Hold on.
It's yeah. The
first two shots will kill this first guy that has been mauled by clacks several times. It will overkill that first guy who is the most hurt. The third attack, which is the one that oh no, sorry. Yes. The third attack, which is 5. I think that's 12 additional damage on. Sorry, I should have made you roll this a little bit differently.
No, we have yet to find a good way of doing this, so you're totally good.
15 damage to this one that has been hurt. I forget how they got hurt. Oh, from the synaptic static. So you pepper 3 arrows into them, 2 shots to kill the first one, and then one that sort of hits one of the guys who is currently reeling back from the surprise of being. It was almost like an ambush within a fight as you all charged forth. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I took my movement. That's my actions, and yeah, bonus action was an extra attack. So yes.
Okay. This one is currently paralyzed this turn, as the one who just got hit by a bolt is going to rush forward onto Clax. This guy has his rage up for a big 16.
Does not hit.
All right. And then the next one comes forward, and I think probably comes here to the direwolf. Also raging. That was a shit roll for 0 damage. Aesop, it is your turn. As you hear sort of the sounds of the suit coming online. I will say and by the way, for the purposes of Drata, your hunter's mark is now on the suit. It is sort of transferred over, and it's sort of, you notice that in your head. You're muted.
Thank you. I need to remember that. The building next to me, is it 4 walls and a roof, or is it just kind of like a hay pile?
It's 3 walls and an open side, so it's sort of like a partial shed hay pile.
Is the side that's open
It's
where
this-
I'm at?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually... I'll make my way in there, just in case I need to hide from Big Mega Suit. If I try to focus my spell that I used on him earlier, can I focus on Grayson himself, or is that completely negated by the suit for some reason? Because I want to do Psychic Lance, but if I can't focus him, then I'll do something else.
You would know, as the person who knows this spell, that it would hit him.
Okay.
And he's currently piloting the suit. I would say the Hunter's Mark thing for Drada is sort of a strange thing that somehow the properties of Hunter's Mark have transferred onto the suit.
Then I will use my last lance spell to try to hit him.
Alrighty.
He's really low number.
Oh, 1 off, 2 off. Dang it! It's a low number though.
It was a very low number. You still hear like the I would say what you witness looking into that room is that this robot, who now that you're sort of a little bit closer, you see one hand is this giant saw blade and the other is sort of like a hollow pipe. You see that both of them reach for the head of the suit, sort of in like psychic pain.
Okay. So at least he felt it that
yes.
But and I don't have any other bardic inspirations, so my turn is over.
Alrighty. Flint.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. Grayson had like a weird, like, not immunity, but like resistance to fire damage, but it also healed him.
Yes, he had tattoos that were somewhat reminiscent to yours, that seemed to absorb fire.
Okay. Do I see any like similar markings or like indication that like this suit would have a similar enchantment or something on it from here I maybe
Yeah.
just can't tell.
I'm going to ask you to roll Arcana to be able to tell within 6 seconds, because it's sort of like the heat of the moment and you're diving into your ability to read.
Fair.
With a 15, although I would say with a 20, I would reveal more, but with a 15, you know that there is some component to that, but you know that you sort of see like a sort of circuitry that you're familiar with carved in to the plate of this suit, but you can't quite discern where those circuits are going or what direction they're drawn to. It does seem like it's a component of the suit. And one thing that I'll tell you with a DC 15 is that this suit, you have to choose where you're aiming on it, because the different components of the suit are sort of powered in different ways.
Okay.
You know, somewhere in there's like a fire rune component, but you just can't see where it is.
Okay. I think based on that, Flint will turn his attention to these 3 guys in front of us. I'm going to start with my Force Ballista and hit this guy that's closest to Mouse.
Okay.
And just bonus action with that.
That certainly hits.
And he'll need to...
He just gets pushed, I think.
Actually, yeah, he just gets pushed 5 feet back.
Ugh.
And then I'm gonna jump off. Oh, is there a way I can position myself where I can hit all 3 of them with Thunder Wave?
You could have pushed him this way.
Okay.
I sort of just moved him in a random direction.
Yeah, and then I'll try and just jump off and try and thunder wave all 3 of them.
Okay. So where are you standing, just for clarity?
Kind of just in front of Mouse at the moment. That's a terrible damage roll, but I do get an extra D8.
Yeah.
Um.
All right. Could you just position yourself? Yeah, I just want to make sure you're standing. Like in case there's opportunity attacks, I want to make sure you're in the right square.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I just got my. Well, I'll leave the force blows to where it's at, I guess.
All right. Left to right. Fail. Fail, success. So these 2 are pushed back. Oh, 10 feet? Yes, 10 feet. And the damage is halved on a success?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe that's true. Yeah, half as much damage.
Okay, so 8 on these 2 and 4 on the closest one.
Yep. And that's my turn.
All right. It is Grajan's turn as you all hear sort of the whirring of gears from within this shed. Although not all of you have fully seen what's within, you hear a mechanical voice sort of echoing out, sort of in response to something that Aesop said last game. If you guys recall, he steps out, crashing through this wall and says, "I think I will tell you about Miss Vaughn myself after all this is over." And actually, what is his movement? You can get a little closer. First, he's actually going to... you see, as he moves forward, the one arm that looks like a pipe sort of has this locking and engaging mechanism where it sort of like locks into place, and you hear this popping sound as a smoke grenade is thrown onto the field. Little regard to his allies, but he's going to hit one of them. I need you guys to make a wisdom, Clax, Flint, and Mouse Wolf to make a wisdom saving throw. Unless people are interacting with that, we do have 2 failures and 1 failure from the guy.
I might. We have to roll a d10 from the looks of that description then?
At the start of your turn, you'll roll a d10 and do whatever's on that table, yes.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and burn Indomitable to reroll.
Okay.
Not that I have great for wisdom, but... Oh, shit. Yeah. Fuck. Oh, well. I did already. I can use the, Bardic Inspiration if... No, fuck. I should have used it on the first one. Alright, yep. Is what it is.
And I'm going to go ahead and burn a Flash of Genius. And I don't know, maybe pull something out of my bag to, like, try and provide some sort of, like, shielding covering to my face or something. I'll give an extra +5 to that. So, 18. I was sick.
Okay. One moment. Oh no, okay. So Flint, you're able to sort of like cover your mouth and escape from this. Now, Clax, you're under the effect of this, and I didn't codify this into the item, but I think you feel a little shock. I think it makes sense. You feel a little shock in your system as this automatically engages. Uh,
Okay.
So you suffer 2 lightning damage and make a wisdom saving throw. You can make a new wisdom saving throw to shrug this off before your turn starts. You're successful.
Yep. I
I
forgot
should.
about it. Thank you.
Well, sorry. I suppose I should have given you the option because some of these D10 results actually don't do anything.
Nope, that's fine. I will
Okay.
rather make sure take it out of the dice. So thank
Okay.
you for the reminder. It has been a hot minute. I do appreciate it.
So it is your turn. As you feel this confusion effect start to take over you, you just sort of feel this shock delivered into your brain from Flint's necklace, and you can take an action and movement this turn.
All right. So with that, I will do my best to, I think, navigate straight to the big guy. And I believe.
I will. Sorry,
Yep,
I'm realizing I didn't read the grenade ability totally.
Okay.
Technically, these saves you made would have been at the beginning of your turn, which is fine. But I'm just sort of reminding you that you do have to get out of the smoke in order to not be doing this again.
Okay. Yep. So I'm just gonna move. Oops. Select the right thing. Right here. Again, if I have to go a little further left and up, so I don't pass through.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah.
Okay. And then we're just gonna start hacking at this thing.
Okay.
So you know something about sunning.
Is there anything in particular you're aiming for? It has sort of like this armor plating on it, and you there's this little glass window that you don't see anything within, but you imagine Graygen is sort of looking out from it, as it's a bit opaque. And then it does have, its weapons and other things as well.
I think I'm just going right for what I think are the brains or the eye or whatever you want to call it there. So I'm gonna go right at that.
Okay.
Actually, nope. I'm gonna attempt to disarm him. So I'm gonna go after his chainsaw. Chainsaws for hands.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead and roll. A little complicated, but they all do have different ACs, so just keep that in mind.
20
A 20 does hit.
for 12 slashing.
You see the saw blade starts to is deflected a bit, but you see that there's sort of like a marking that you've made as it weakens a bit.
Okay. And just looking here real quick to make sure there's nothing else I want to do for right now. Imagine he's probably immune to frighten, but all right, yeah. So just gonna do another normal attack against him. Again, same thing to the arm. Hold on, wait one. I will burn that D8 for the Bardic Inspiration and hope for a good roll here. Because I have a feeling an 11 will not hit. So D8 roll, big number, big no. Does a 13 hit?
13 does not hit, and just sort of
damage. All right.
bangs off.
That's currently my turn. I'm good.
He looks down at you and says, "Cute," and he will use a legendary action to saw blade you.
Oh man, that definitely hits. Oh, 29 damage.
I will silvery barbs that.
Okay.
That's my reaction.
He gets a plus 11, so just it may not be worth it, but
18?
he ties it.
Okay.
I'll put it in chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you give advantage to?
Who would be next up on? It would be Mouse Wolf. I'll give it to Mouse Wolf.
Mouse Wolf doesn't need it. I'm a wolf.
Okay. I'll give it to Drada then.
Prada will need it. They're not a wolf. Thanks.
Okay. Well, it is Mouse Wolf's turn. You had succeeded, I believe, on the check, but you are currently sort of just like resisting the effect of the smoke until you leave.
Awesome. Just to double check, we're outside, right?
Yes.
Cool. I was really excited to attack some shit as a dire wolf. However, I do much better damage as a druid. So I'm gonna run over here. I'm gonna bonus action, drop wild shape. And then I'm gonna cast Call Lightning at 4th level.
Oh, very well. Let me get you back in initiative somehow. That's a big spot. Okay. I'm going to delete this radius because I'm just assuming it covers the whole map.
We're basically in it. That is where my first strike is gonna go, though, and I think that means I hit the big guy and these two, because it's within 5 feet.
So it's a 5-foot radius.
Correct.
Reading is hard. Okay. Then yes, I see what you're saying. Okay. That sucks for them. Oops. Controls. Okay.
Oh, and it didn't roll the extra damage die.
I think it did. There's yeah, it did.
I just showed 3d10. Oh, +4. I understand. So
Yes,
30.
31. Okay. Right to left to handle these guys who are hurting. That guy fails. And 31 damage. This guy who has been hit by Synaptic Static and various other things just sort of crumples into dust. This other one does succeed for 15 damage. He is not looking healthy. And Robosuit for 19 does succeed. I'm going to say that this is just sort of hitting because this is sort of hitting it on the side. So let's actually 50-50 to see high or low for which for it to hit the saw blade as opposed to the tube.
Hi.
Okay. So it hits the saw blade that Klax has been gnawing at. Sorry, managing different hit points is weird. And is that your turn?
I let out like a loud cackle, like I'm controlling the storm, and I feel like badass.
That's a free action. Okay, Drada.
Drada hears a manic cackle from somewhere in the left of his field of hearing, and just kind of cackles back, confused and scared, and just like everything's fine, So yeah, that's definitely all of my action. He's gonna.
Is that your turn? All right, moving on.
Yeah, that's it. Did it. Done. Intimidation check to himself. Mosey on over this way. And then would love to make some kind of perception check or some sort of I know you said that this suit of mechanical armor has different points to attack of just at glance, what do I think an arrow or a bolt with a sharp object, where should I shoot it to have the most effect?
Roll me a perception. Roll me an intelligence check. I think you don't necessarily know what you're dealing with.
That's
so we'll see what that sort of results in. Okay, with a 10, I would say here are what you can target. You don't know what their vulnerabilities are, but you recognize that the sort of main body has this plating on it, this heavy plating. You see that there's the saw blade, the flamethrower, that the tube represents both a flamethrower and a grenade launcher. You sort of see that it has this interchangeable element to it. And then there's also the legs, if you would try to want to demobilize it.
Great. Considering, I think Drada's first thought would probably be to go for a hybrid flamethrower / grenade launcher. just to try, if people need to get distance, they can do so in their other way, shape, or form. So yeah, he would start taking some crossbow shots there.
Okay.
And we're back to the hunter's mark of it all. And sneak attack, we have 5 feet.
Yes.
So you love to see it.
So 3 attacks plus 1d6 on each attack, I think, is the summary.
Great.
The 16 does hit the grenade launcher flamethrower. So okay, roll 3 more d6 if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, and then sorry, 1d6. That was for Hunter's Mark, but then 1d6 for sneak attack.
It's 2d6, and I
Oh,
got
2d6. Yes. Just
There you
roll every d6 that you own. Okay. 24,
Yep.
30, 36, 44 damage. You see that although your arrows are piercing in nature, the magical essence that that Flint has poured into this, you see that there are these punctures that are going through the. You're almost like creating an incision via punctures. You're destabilizing the device at large by firing these arrows into it. It is still put together and functional, but you know it is taking considerable damage. I believe that is all you have. At the end of your turn, going to use another legendary action as the voice inside echoes out in the mechanical voice that says, "That will not do. We just can't have that happening." And you see this sort of sphere of energy start to raise around the entire robosuit as it gains resistance to everything. This is not able to be overcome by magic. As you start to feel that it's pushing, like I think Clax, with you standing up close to it, you're starting to feel it grazing your axe as it is sort of trying to push you back. This guy is sort of pushed back and is going to come here and take a swing at Clax. This guy is still not actually activated his rage, and he doesn't have time to do that. So he's just given the low roll nat 20.
That's fine. That's fine. I'd keep that. That's
okay.
Such
Yeah, 7 damage crits. That's
take that all day long.
Yeah.
This other guy is confused and is going to see what happens. 9 is my entire screen freezes again.
It should be normal. I think
Okay.
it was 9 and 10 were moving back normally.
Okay. I still have to reload everything nonetheless. I don't know if your guys' Foundry does this, but mine just like flashes white sometimes, and I have to. It's silly. Anyway,
I think it's the nuts.
possibly.
Like, yeah.
This one, able to withstand the heat for now, is just going to take a swipe at Flint with advantage for a 20 to hit.
That will hit. I'm trying to decide, how does my shield work?
You can use a reaction to up your AC by 5.
I have a reaction.
Different
that my-
shield. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I needed to be hit for that. I think I'm going to go ahead and let it hit me and then try and use my repulsion shield as my reaction.
Yes, got it.
Which I'm assuming it has to make a roll. Or not.
Or not. Yeah, I think it just
Apparently.
shoves people back. Go ahead and roll 2d6 as you sort of shove him into this wall.
Oop, that's not right.
Somehow you rolled the same. This guy gets thrust back by your repulsion shield and is like, oh, fuck. He still has his movement, though, but he doesn't want to get into the smoke. So I think...
I did take 12 damage, though.
Yeah, I don't actually know what he would do. I think he's just going to try to, like, position himself in this area. Aesop.
Okay. God, he's resistant to all damage, huh? And that the red circle in the middle is just smoke.
Yeah.
So I can't see through it. Okay.
Yeah, it's this like confusion smoke. No, you can see through it. It's not it's not blocking vision.
I see.
It's just like it's making people hallucinate a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I will try to, let me see if I could put down, oh yeah, at level, great. I'm gonna try to fairy fire the mech since he wants to be resistant to everything.
Alrighty. That one.
Oh, that was for him. Good.
They finally rolled poorly. So now it's glowing and all things have advantage against it.
Yes.
I'm going to leave that, even though it sort of goes away, I'm going to leave that box up until it gets dispelled for some reason.
Okay.
You have bonus action movement.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. I feel comfortable where I'm at, and I'm gonna save my reaction or anything else. So
Okay.
I am done.
Cool. Flint, your this would have been when your Flash of Genius kicked off. Although we did things out in a weird order. So you're currently safe from the smoke.
Oh, that's actually an interesting point, though.
No, I'm not taking it into account. I know what you're talking about. Because I screwed up.
All right. I'm going to kind of run up this way. Be 5 feet in front of that door.
Is your cannon on your shoulder, or did you set it down?
It's probably on my shoulder.
Okay.
That seems reasonable. And I'm going to, I think I'll shoot the guy that tried to hit me, with my cannon. That's so many dice. Why was that? Oh,
crit.
because it crit.
You're shooting the guy below you with your cannon?
Yeah.
Okay. And then roll your... Oh no, this cannon does not have that. Okay. He's looking incredibly hurt. You think he is quite close to keeling over?
Man, I did not expect to do that much damage with that. That's more damage than like any of my spells do most of the time. But then I think I'm just gonna hold my action to cast Shatter on the big guy, and potentially get the guy next to him, but mainly worried about the big guy. But I'm just gonna hold it until the shield goes down.
Okay. Well, at the beginning of his turn, the shield goes down.
Perfect.
This is your reaction when you're holding an action, just so we're aware.
And yeah,
I would say, would you prioritize? So this would be the side. Okay, it doesn't really matter, but this is the flamethrower side. If you're not hitting Clax, you could hit Clax if you want to hit all of him.
I don't want to hit I don't want to hit Clax. If I can, I would probably be trying to aim for the window, but like if that's not feasible.
Yeah, I mean, the shatter can capture the entire thing. But so it's like if you don't hit Clax, you won't hit this other guy, because it's like, where do you put the square to hit the entire thing?
Yeah, I'm probably more concerned with the big thing than the little guy, but I would ideally not like to hit Clax. So if I can avoid Clax and the little guy, but hit most of the machine,
you certainly can do that.
All right, cool. And then I get an extra 8. And I think he has disadvantage
Correct. Let me roll that again.
things.
That is a failure. So that is
23 damage.
23 damage across the entire body. As soon as the shield goes down, you feel sort of, I think, Clax with the most upfront view. You start to see these little ruptures of steam coming out of various plates on this body. Let me make sure I actually do all this damage.
This is more damage that Flint has done in a round or a turn or whatever than ever. Maybe a fireball at some point.
Sorry, there's a lot of things to change here. Is it 23 damage? Okay. You see, I think Clax sees this in the moment, but it as this robot sort of raises its arm to, well, first of all, actually, let me see if it gets its grenade back. It does not. So you see it engage. It re-engages into this flamethrower mode as you see this gout of flame start to light from it. But it looks like it's barely, the flamethrower seems to be barely holding together. As he sort of circles a little bit, trying to get a different angle. I don't know if it'll matter, but he says, "Dark water, was it?"
Yeah, what do you know about the dark waters?
And he is going to hit you and Clax and his ally with this flamethrower. His ally is going to try to save. It does absolutely not. This ally gets roasted and is gone.
I'm going to add my...
You used your reaction to...
Oh, you're right. Never mind.
I do save, and then
You take half.
14,
Yes.
and then resistance to fire, so 7.
Yes. Clax completely comfortable in the situation.
Whew.
And says, "I knew them well some time ago, though. Would love to chat." And it's sort of just moving down. He's not leaving Clax's area, but he is you see that there's a recognition that he's positioning himself within range of both Aesop and Clax, and says, "You have been a bother as well." And is going to use his second attack to Saw Blade Aesop.
Come on, high AC. Nope, not at all. With a plus 11 to that, it'll be tough to Silvery Barbs that and have it not succeed. But I could.
You have about 25% chance, because it's 6 or lower.
Yeah.
So 30% technically.
You know what? I still get the advantage. I still give it to someone, so I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
All right, 30%. Let's see.
Just in case, we know that this guy's been rolling. Oh no, it says roll d20 and use the lower roll. Okay, I thought it would give him a potential to crit because I was going to be sad if he crit. Okay, well he still hits you, but so who are you giving the advantage to?
I'll give it to Clax.
Okay.
Well, just real quick before you give me the advantage, Fairy Fire's still on him. You're gonna take
Well, yeah,
concentration,
roll
right?
a concentration check to see if you maintain Fairy Fire. That's a good point.
That's
You need to roll a 12.
Constitution.
Constitution saving throw, yes.
Saving throw.
You're good. Yep, Fairy Fire is still up.
So, I'm gonna more than likely be doing everything in combat. So as long as that Fairy Fire's up, that advantage might be better used elsewhere.
I'll give it to Drada again then.
Like it.
Thank you.
I imagine some of my clothes are ripped up in this instance, and I think I'm just more. I'm sad that I'm now bleeding a lot from the saw blade, but I'm also sad that my clothes are completely torn apart by the saw blade. Absolutely tore through my shit.
Yeah, I think it's just like, I just bought this armor. There's like
Yeah.
like Flint is going to need some time on that one. Clax, you are up.
How's Aesop looking?
Aesop has not.
I need to take the damage on that. I did 24, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm fine.
Okay, you're fine. See if I have enough movement to move around him. 20, 25, 30. I don't think I can quite get there. Okay, so then I'll just sit tight for now then. I'm first going to bonus action second wind. The fire reinvigorated me. I'm getting pumped. This is exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and use second wind for 14 healing. And then back up to 52. Okay. And then I'm just going to start. The flamethrower arm looks like it was in pretty rough shape, correct?
Yes. Yeah. It is sort of
How's the buzzsaw arm
dangling by an edge. The buzzsaw has only really been hit by the shatter.
and me, right?
And you. Yeah. It's much better than the flamethrower, we'll say.
Okay.
You'd have to get some really good hits in for the saw blade.
Gotcha. So let's go after the flamethrower arm first.
Okay.
And first strike is 28 for 11.
How do you go about cutting this flamethrower arm off?
I just imagine at this point it's looking like it's barely holding on. I'm just looking like right in between what would be the equivalent of a shoulder and the joint there. I'm seeing a gap, and I'm just swinging, as hard as I can with one arm, trying to sever that joint, and hopefully knocking that arm off.
As you do so, there is a very minor bit of flame that seems to still be feeding in to ignite this flamethrower from some kind of internal engine. So there's still this like actually live flame coming out of the side of this robot suit, but there's nothing to sort of feed it fuel.
Awesome. And then second attack, I will go ahead and I'm going to go after the buzzsaw.
Okay.
Before you tell me that's an 11, I'm going to. Again, it's been a hot minute. I'm going to use
Precision.
precision.
I
Yep.
believe.
Thank you. Does the 16?
16 does not hit.
All right, it was worth a shot. Okay.
Okay. And you're staying put?
Actually, well, yeah, because I'd be stay put.
As it saws off, he says, he sort of turns to you and says, I don't know who you are. You are very annoying. And is going to legendary action saw blade you again.
Misses.
And you just sort of like deflect it with your shield. And it is Mouse's turn.
Yeah, I am going to raise my hands to the sky and summon down a lightning bolt. Preferably, if I can aim for that saw blade, I would love to do that.
Sure, yeah. Not the
That
best
is
roll.
such a shit roll. It's almost 16 save.
Well, it failed, at least. You, as the lightning comes down, it's more of the percussive force of it. You see that the blade gets bent through that effort and starts to like spin off of its kilter. It's still functional, but it's not looking good.
19 damage isn't too bad. I'm gonna run away a little bit though. He's too close to me. That's all.
Okay. At the end of your turn, he sort of looks at all of you and says, this It's not how I wanted it to end, but we'll see how it goes. And he is going to activate his defense matrix again. Drada.
What fun timing to turn on that defense matrix. Yeah, I think seeing that the blade is close to being done, I'll take some shots with advantage, be it from the barbs or be it from fairy fire, and I would like to call sharpshooter on them.
Okay. Then let's do it. Are you aiming
at least,
for
at least to start? We'll
are you
see
aiming
how
for
it
the
goes.
saw blade or for?
I'm gonna start aim. The intent, if all goes perfectly well, would be to aim for the saw blade. Once that's done, start aiming for the main body.
Okay,
We'll see how it goes.
got it.
And it's well past the time. I didn't roll with advantage on either one of those attacks. Yeah, it's well past now,
okay.
but just
Yeah.
damn it.
17 does hit the saw blade. I'm going to roll sneak attack on that. The saw blade is still operational, but you sort of, it's starting to spin irregularly.
Wait, another shot.
With advantage? Okay. Doesn't matter. And you technically have Hunter's Mark on these, but it doesn't matter for this one because you, as the next arrow hits, it sort of wedges itself in a slot that stops the saw blade. So the saw blade is kind of like wriggling against this magical bolt, and it can't move anymore. It is no longer functional.
Great. And then final attack at the body itself.
With advantage. Hey. Okay.
Nice.
There we go,
Nice.
kid. There we go, kid.
Hunter's Mark.
Yep.
If you don't mind.
Another 2d6.
Okay, for 6 damage on the main plate. Starting to the main plate, although it has those ruptures from the shatter spell earlier, it is it seems to be like quite a heavy plate, and you're just sort of putting dents into it right now.
Great. And I'm gonna back the fuck up.
Okay. This guy, he is, if he wasn't raging right now, he would probably kind of be in a little bit of a fuck this moment. But I'm going to just sort of see which direction he goes. 1, 2 is Flint, 3, 4 is Drada, 5, 6 is Mouse. Okay, he runs north to Flint and is going to try to chop you in the back.
Very nice.
The shit roll.
Does not hit.
Drada. Actually,
It's me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Sorry,
just went,
Aesop.
yeah.
Yes.
Scene, I'm
wait,
like,
I'm sorry. I'm thinking. Hold on.
no, go for it. I'll wait.
He is going to use his legendary action to saw blade.
And he isn't up.
Is it still
Oh
operational?
no, you're right. It is not operational. Sorry.
Yeah.
I need to take that off his list. You're correct. His defense matrix is already up. There's nothing he can. Oh, he is a. You see, the engine, because he's used one legendary action, right, on his defense matrix. Okay, yeah. You see that from within the little glass window, you start to see it glow a little brighter. As you just sort of feel a heat erupting from inside the suit, as it goes into a bit of an overdrive.
Okay, so that doesn't affect me right now. However, I assume that this robot's reach is pretty
It doesn't
far.
have any arms right now, so
Oh.
or any functional arms.
Um,
Yeah, you're
I
not quite
still-
sure what the overdrive is.
yeah, I still got to get out. So to keep the fairy fire on him, and I will Misty Step out. What is it? 30 feet. I'll go here.
Okay.
And I have 30 feet of movement. Yes, I need to remind myself. So I'm gonna get closer to Flint over here. Trying to get. There we go. Hi, Flint.
Hi there.
And that's my turn. I gotta save my bonus. Well, I
You
gotta
didn't
save
use
my
your action
reaction.
yet. Yeah, but Misty Step is a bonus action.
If I use a spell as a bonus action,
You can
how
only
high
use
can
a
I go?
cantrip as your regular action.
Then I will. Let me look. I will do. I will throw a vicious mockery on this lumberjack that's fighting Flint right now.
Okay. Oh, he has 7 hit points. So I was hoping he would die to this, but sadly he's still up.
Yeah. I guess I.
But you do mock him, and he cannot. His next attack is a straight roll because he currently has advantage.
Yep, that's my turn.
Okay. Flint.
Well, I'll start by shooting my force ballista at that guy.
Okay.
See if we can...
He's absolutely destroyed. Just like pinned to this wall on the building.
And then seeing the like glowing on the inside and being really, I guess, unclear what that's gonna do, and maybe a little concerned that it might be some sort of self-destruct or something. I think also I just don't have anything else to do with my level 3 spells. I'm gonna try and dispel magic on that if possible.
Okay.
Know if it is.
Can you put that in the chat?
Yeah. So you're seeing that magical effect or something. Try and target that.
Just sort of checking one thing. Okay. This is functionally a haste spell, but it's not the type of haste spell that makes him lethargic to skip his turn. But you sort of like cool the jets on the engine, and haste being a level 3 spell, it happens automatically.
Cool.
But you hear, like, as the window is sort of heating up, you hear like a bit of like a maniacal this will be fun. Wait. As it just sort of starts to cool down, and you hear the sounds of somebody who must be like smacking it, trying to get, like, smacking a computer to try to get it to work.
Okay. Actually, what's the range on that? I probably had to. Oh no, it's 120 feet.
Yeah,
I
you're
already
good.
guessed that was only 30 feet. Cool. Then with that, I will run away. Get up here a little ways. But that's my turn.
Okay. On his turn, you're starting to look at him and his status, and I think Flint, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check now that you're sort of assessing this suit with a little bit more time and purpose. Okay. I think it's the same roll as before, but what I will tell you is that the runes that have lost their connection, like whatever circuitry runes that were connected to the arms, you start to see those you start to see them alight towards the like main console or the window that that Grajan is piloting inside. And so it seems like the power is starting to funnel inwards now that it can't be using these external tools. And he sort of looks down at all of you here and says, well, if you won't let me play with my toys, we'll do things the old-fashioned way. And you see alighting from the glass a fireball erupt as if Grajan was casting it. And it seems to be going past and outside the window. So if we could have the three of you roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
Not great, guys.
Still high for me though. So, and I always forget round down.
round down.
So 11 for me.
Yes. 11 for you, 23 for Aesop. And 11 for Flint as well.
I didn't move this earlier.
One other note, and I'd say, although it's not going to matter right this second, when he had went into that overdrive, Klax, you sort of felt a heat coming from the metal, and know that you, in that moment, if you had struck it, you might have been taking fire damage. But because it's been cooled down, you know that it's safe once again.
Thank you very much.
And it's your turn.
All right. I think just going to hack right at the window. That seems to be kind of towards the center, because I imagine it's window and then armor overall, right?
They're one and the same in this
Okay.
case. Yeah.
That works. So I'm going to go ahead and hack right at it. And first one is 21 for 11 slashing.
That definitely does hit, and he does not have his defense matrix up at the moment.
Ooh, second one's 17.
Uh,
Remember, before you say anything, I think because yeah, I'll let that go. See if it
17 does
hit.
not hit. No.
Ah, damn it! I guessed wrong. Okay, and then fairy fire's still up.
Oh, true.
Yes.
Yes, you're correct.
Oh,
There
that
you
is
go.
a big win.
Reroll the first one as well, just in case it crits.
I did get hit with fireball, so shouldn't I reroll?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Roll concentration, and if you get over an 11, then
Yep.
all this resolves.
Can I wheel that?
Ooh.
Sure. Yeah, you're good. Everything's
Alright, and then-
everything's
I
as
would've-
planned.
I would have appreciated it, Massa. Thank you.
Yeah, D8 extra. Okay, so we have 26
Yep,
in
26.
total.
Yep, and I think for me, that is really. Oh, actually, so the fireball is because I know there's not really combustible stuff on the floor or anything.
yeah.
The fireball is gone, though. I don't have to worry about it.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
The
That's my
smoke
turn.
is still present in this lower area, but irrelevant right now. Okay.
That's my turn.
At the top of the initiative, Mouse, you hear the sounds of the two people you ran past starting to approach the fight from behind you. Give me an insight check, if you don't mind.
Sure.
With a 25, you sort of get a quick glance. I should roll initiative for them before I say too much. You get a quick glance, and as they were approaching, you sense that they are surveying the fight, and that the alchemist is sort of looking to leave. The other one looks like they're ready to charge you, and they do sort of have that full rage effect right now.
Love it. I will shout to the group. Two more might be incoming. They look unsure. And I will bring down another strike of lightning, this time shooting straight for that window on our Mac friend. Better roll.
That is a much better roll. Let's see. These nat 20s.
God damn.
But it does still suffer 14 damage.
I've only used silvery barbs for attacks, but it doesn't say.
You can do it at any D20, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it for this one.
Okay. Who are you giving advantage to?
Good use of silvery barbs, by the way.
You could use it.
No.
Or
It was just a good.
The reroll.
It was a good reroll
oh,
because they failed. But who are you giving it to?
I think I have to see the person, so I can't give it to Gerada. Yeah, I can see within range. So sorry, Gerada, you're not going to be able to get this one.
Yeah, with the fairy fire, it's more of a situational advantage anyway because it's probably more for saves than attacks.
Yeah, so for that, I'll just the person closest. I'll do Clax.
Okay. Mouse, that was your action, I believe.
Yeah, I'll scoot a little bit more to the right, but otherwise I don't have any bonus actions right now.
Okay. Outside of the gates, you all briefly hear the alchemist say, "I'm getting out of here. If you survive, look me up." And they sort of turn tail and leave. I'm saying this for Gerada's benefit. You do hear that on your turn. And so you can do with that what you want.
Yeah, I think I should shout just to someone like, "Do you want me to deal with them, or is he more the is that guy more the priority?"
I'd worry about the big guy. He hurts.
Fair. So yeah, pop, into this central window then. And I said last time I would invoke sharpshooter, and then forgot about it.
Oh.
But this time I'm gonna do it, meaning -5 to the
Yes,
the
we
attack
did.
rolls,
We
and
did
then +10 if it hits.
Yes, we did completely forget that, and it
It's
doesn't.
all good.
Okay.
There's a lot that can happen.
Games are hard. These are with advantage because of fairy fire. Unfortunately, a 15 does not hit.
All good.
A 23 does hit, and that's going to get sneak attack as well.
And we'll just get all these out of the way.
A 19 does not hit.
Damn. Okay.
18 plus sneak attack. Plus 1d6 for Hunter's Mark. Alrighty. 8 plus 18 is 26. It is starting to cave inwards a little bit. And his laughing from inside has slowed down. Would you like to move?
Yeah, I would love to get right up next to the wall. With the intention of, hey, if things go really smoothly for the next several seconds and we end this real lickety-split, who knows if that will be the case, I'd happily pop over the wall and chase down the people fleeing just to prevent any word from escaping.
Alrighty. Flint.
Or is it Aesop?
Aesop, sorry.
Oh.
I don't know why I'm getting everybody mixed up today.
I am badly hurt. So if I run up to this door next to me, can I see if it's unlocked?
Oh, it's open. You should be able to see inside.
Oh, it's open? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a mess inside, bro. Ooh. So I'm gonna go inside, kind of go off to the corner so I'm not seen, and then heal myself, cure wounds. Just a level 1, but I need it.
A little top off.
Not great, but you know what? Anything's better than nothing, right? So that's 24. And I'll keep myself in... I can still see everything, but I'm still backed away, where hopefully nothing will harm me. And that is my turn.
Alrighty, Flint. Before your turn, Flint, you do hear the engine start to rev up again with it spending, Grajan spending legendary actions.
Okay. That doesn't really help. All right, how am I doing this? I'm going to start with a bonus action to shoot him with the Force Ballista.
Okay.
Which actually, this should be at advantage, right?
Yes,
Yep.
correct.
Also not been doing a good
Ugh.
job.
Okay, roll 3 more d8 because it didn't auto roll.
You should be able to hover over the damage one, and there should be a plus sign, is what I learned on the last one. You should be able to hit the plus.
Oh, yes.
Look at that.
Man,
Math.
good
Oh,
damage.
Jesus.
Good damage.
Ugh. With the force, let me just do math. You do sort of see that there are gaskets bursting around this hatch that this glass hatch that Grajan is sort of inside. You can't really see his shape. You can't really see his features as much as you can see the silhouette as it's starting to glow. But you see that this is looking to rupture with one more good hit.
I think because it's funny, and I'll never use this ability most of the time. I'm assuming I didn't move it last time, but the cannon's still on my shoulder. I'm gonna rush forward as part of all that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then as part of the bonus action for this guy, I can move it another 15. Oh, I might not be able to get it close enough. 20 feet.
I guess it would have been pushed 5 feet back by the cannon, just by getting hit by it.
Oh, you're right. Hang on, let me see if this is even possible. If I do, it could run up to here, and then everything is that within 20 feet of it? Yeah. Although that would put me with. Never mind. I'll just less exciting, but I'll hit him with a shatter again.
Okay. I will tell you that if it fails the save, then this will rupture. So because it has 13 hit points left on the faceplate.
I will say, since I didn't need to do that, I'm not rushing
Okay.
forward. Staying back here.
It does succeed. It is sort of like leaking steam, and ready to burst at any second.
I think based on that, I'm actually going to do the opposite and run further away, just trying to make sure we're not within like fireball distance of each other again. And yeah, just get up to the corner of this building.
Okay. End of your turn, this guy just sort of like raged out, running forward, action, bonus action, but can't do much else. Grajan, as the sort of as this alchemical overdrive seems to be fueling the system, you sort of see the suit sort of scanning the horizon, and he says, "Well, nothing fun ever lasts," and you hear a beeping from inside. I'll let you enjoy that.
Yeah.
And you also Let me sort of read one more thing. Okay. You see, you don't have a clear view at this second, but you see, or you sort of hear a muffling from happening with inside. And there's sort of like shadow puppets going out in front of the window as some sort of spell is being cast. You'd have to be able to open this to be able to see anything. Clacks. But you hear, I should say, the self-destruct sequence engage is something that you sort of hear echoing from the like a mechanical robotic voice on the inside.
Do I get the impression that if I destroy it, it will no longer self-destruct, or is it that
that would just open the door? you would gain access to Graygen by destroying the door.
All right, I am running forward, going in full bore to try and crack open that door. So I guess one too far, but so I'm swinging right at the hatch.
Okay.
First attack, 28 with advantage, just in case I get a crit. Oh, same.
Okay.
19. So 11 slashing, trying to get the door open.
Yeah. As you crack it open, you see the sort of the pressure that's been building from within the door suddenly pops open. I should say that because of the overdrive, you will suffer a little bit of fire damage.
So 5.
5 fire damage. As the door flies off, first you see Graygen just sort of sitting inside like the cockpit. In here, it is a hot, blazing mess. He looks like he's recovered a little bit of his wounds, but not entirely from the earlier part of the encounter. Although I guess he still looks pretty bad because he did suffer from Aesop's sort of calling out his name spell. So he looks pretty bad in there, but you see that he's holding a spell. And as the door bursts open, he sort of looks at you and says, "You better leave, or we're both going up in flames."
I immediately try to grapple him.
So
I'm not letting him get away. And again, I don't know if he's source self-destruct or if he's trying to get away, so I'm going to...
Yeah. So I want to explain some rules here. If you grapple him, okay, let me, I want to make sure to paint the picture here.
Okay.
The beeping of the self-destruct sequence seems to be engaged. That is not going to be turned off. So if you grapple him, you're going to have to drag him away, which is going to slow you down.
Correct.
So you're welcome to do that.
Yep. I think, and again, grapple does not interfere with his spell casting, and he hasn't used the spell, so I imagine it's more of a reaction, so he could probably drop anytime. So yeah, so I'm going to just try and grapple, and I'll use what movement I have, because I only moved, I think, 5 feet forward. I'm going to grapple him and try and drag him out in as much distance as I can cover.
Okay. Roll athletics then. His roll is absolute garbage.
Athletics.
There's no way you would lose that. Just like pull him up by the cuff.
Yep. So just grab him with my shield arm. Just grab him, start dragging him, try and pull him out as quickly as I can, and as far as I can get away. So that should be 10. So then it'd be another. So maybe 2 spaces back. That's all the further I can get.
Yeah.
Does he have any reaction? Is he yelling? Saying anything?
He seems to roll me an insight check, I guess.
Insight. Ooh, not bad for me.
You see he's smiling at you.
would say I would punch him, but I don't have any more actions left. I'm just going to clench my teeth right now and continue to pull him away.
The rest of you, as he gets pulled out, you all see sort of the spell that he's holding is one that you're familiar with because you've seen him cast it before. He's getting ready to Dimension Door out of here. And you know that if he's holding it, he can do it whenever he wants. Mouse, it's your turn. He sort of looks and says, if you don't run, you're going to regret it.
I take as many steps as I can a little bit further away. And then I believe this chick is now in my lightning radius. I'm going to leave him alone and lightning strike her.
Okay. She completely fails. She's not looking good.
Who is looking the worst? Oh, I didn't cast it though. Who's looking the worst of our party? Clax?
Flint, actually. Well, yeah, you can only barely see Flint.
But I'm pretty far away from this pending explosion, so...
You're out of range. Yeah, I'll just chill.
Okay. I want to... Because he's holding on to a spell that he can cast whenever he feels like it. But Drada has he knows that he could get shot down by Drada. So I want to make this a roll of sorts. It's sort of like a quick draw. It's his ability to trigger his spell before he gets decimated. Can you roll initiative against his Arcana?
Ooh, I like it.
Drada to sort of
Sure.
be able to
That
annihilate
include
him.
Gift of Alacrity.
Sure, yeah.
Great.
His Arcana is +10. Because he's being a little cocky at the moment. Not high. I will say you will have one attack before he definitely uses it. Well, every attack could break concentration on him holding a spell.
I'm trying to hit roll initiative.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's just roll a d20 plus 3 plus 1d8.
Well,
All right.
You already got it.
It's gonna be higher.
Okay. You have a limited window to end this cocky guy.
My pleasure. Yeah. I think I would shoot until I see like go into unconsciousness. I don't think I would want to murder this man. But let's go for it. And are these still with advantage?
I'm gonna say no because he was inside.
Yeah,
this.
he was inside the
Yeah,
suit.
the fairy fire's on the suit.
Cool.
An 18 doesn't hit, but a 19 does hit. So I need you to roll your sneak attack and Hunter's Mark.
Yep.
15 damage is his exact hit points.
Oh, Lord.
That is, I was like, he's gonna live with 1 hit point, and I was really excited about it. Tell me, as he looks at you with a smile on his face.
And I think I just calmly smile right back. And sink an arrow, or a bolt, I suppose, like for someone who's been talking far too much and talking far too much shit, like into his neck.
Clax, he just, I think like you don't see his face because he's looking towards the side, but you do feel him go slack as the pressure inside this suit continues to build. What does everybody, so we have, well, Drada, you still have your movement and bonus action.
Yeah, I would love to. I don't, how tall is this wall?
10 feet. You can just sort of step over it pretty easily.
Great, I will be running up and jumping off of this wall and starting to run towards the people who are running away. And if I can take my third shot on one of them, I will happily do so.
Sure. I mean, there was only one of them.
Oh, then I will happily take that shot at that
Okay.
guy.
He has 7 hit points. So, and 7 hit points and 13 AC. So I think you probably have an easy time. Yeah, you see somebody darting into the distance, and in your mind, you're just like, no loose ends.
Great.
Yeah,
and I'm moseying as far away as I can for the time.
Okay. So just
Everything
Aesop
I
and
have that I
Flint.
could like help out with, I feel like is touch. I think Flint would probably try and shoot the armor to move it another 5 feet away from Clax before it explodes, and try to use it last third level to dispel magic on the explosion, because I like all of the like protection from energy or haste or fly, all of those things are touch.
Okay. Well, roll the attack first. See if this pushes it a little further away.
Where is it? Here it is.
That well, I'd say with the I think I don't have
Oh,
any.
I guess I technically have advantage if it's still fairy fire.
Yes, it's fine. You're not destroying the suit. You're just pushing it back. So
Fair.
Yeah. So with regards to dispel magic, I'm going to need you to make an Arcana check.
Alright.
The power of this effect, and it sort of occurs to you. Can you put in the? Is it? Can you put in the dispel magic? I need a, because it has rules for which level spell. DC 10 plus level spell. So, giving you the flavor of knowing how strong this was, you know that what was bubbling up inside of this thing had the power of a level 8 spell.
Oh.
As it starts to sort of shut itself down.
Okay. Is this the type of check that I can use my Flash of Genius on?
Well, I'm saying you succeeded.
Oh, I succeed.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you succeeded because the DC was 18, and you rolled a 21.
Oh! I gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the Arcana check was for that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Well,
yes.
good. Never mind.
I guess it would have been, yeah, that would have been the same roll. Spellcasting ability modifier would have been plus 11, so
Well,
or plus 9.
actually, how does it? Because
It's your proficiency plus your intelligence. So you would
do
have
you get proficiency with these sorts of
with
things? I
spellcasting
always
modifier. Yes,
make
it's
it
fine.
Okay, I'll take it.
I've already said it. And so you deactivate it. This last guy, I'm just going to sort of fast forward through the motions. He is not a threat in this situation, and so in his enraged state, he falters towards the overwhelming strength of your party. As this battle comes to a close, you do hear sort of the sounds of the klaxons still going. And you do know that there were more people in this town because you saw a group of them at the boiling over pot when you had first come here. So I'm going to take a break and then just sort of think about, are you sticking around to deal with that aftermath or are you not? So let's come back in 5-ish minutes.
It might be a couple over. I just had to warm some food
Okay.
too. So
Sounds good. you all take a breath and have a moment of security, hearing the suit power down, recognizing that that's not the eye of the storm and that it's about to blow up. It is actually quiet for the next 10 seconds as you start to hear sort of the sounds of, I'd say like, a good 100 feet away that you can't visibly see them. You hear the sounds of more reinforcements coming from the west. So you know that you can avoid them potentially by heading south back down towards where you first encountered Grajan. Unless you plan on sticking around, which is also your choice.
Well, so immediately, because the way you described it, I just felt Grajan go limp when I was trying to pull him away. That we have a second.
Yes.
I obviously see a bolt through his neck right now, right?
Yes, and he is.
I'm gonna. Somebody heal him quick. We need him. He's got all the answers. Come on.
I was going to cast Aura of Vitality and gather the party, and I wouldn't think to heal Grajan, but I'll give him the first 2d6.
Just so you know, this will wake him up.
As soon as I see someone trying to actually help me out and heal him, I'm going to try and secure his hands. So grab some rope.
Someone no sleep?
What's that?
Can someone put him to sleep, please? It feels like a thing people can. I don't know.
Okay,
cool.
I think for the purposes of simplicity, with any of you who wants to participate that wants to, you can hold an action to bludgeon him into a state of non-lethal unconsciousness after Mouse heals him.
Clack will gladly do that.
Okay. He is unconscious, but you sort of, this effort does take a good 6 seconds, and you are starting to realize that the army of people are approaching.
Thank you, Mouse. Appreciate it.
Let's get out of here.
Fireman carry Grajan.
Do you want me to stay behind and hide and like listen in to like what they're saying and what they might be doing next, or should I just come with you?
Whatever you think's best.
Okay.
Every 6 seconds, I give somebody else 2d6.
I'll take the next couple, or Flint. Do you want to take up?
Okay. Is anybody, are you, Drada, attempting to stay behind? What do you think is best?
I think I would like leave the gates and like I would bonus action shift my hunter's mark to someone in the party so I can track them and know where they are. And then I would leave the gates, but like find a nearby tree, climb up, and like see if I can obscure myself in the branches and try to listen into conversations for a bit.
Okay. Use your action then to roll a stealth if you don't mind.
Sure.
You just sort of find your spot. I think, you would know if you roll a 1 stealth, because this is not Drada behavior. As you're climbing a tree, you hear the sound, like you start to climb and realize that you rely too much on your climbing skills, but what you needed was your attention to know that the branch you were stepping on was not enough to bear your weight. As you hear this loud snap and you catch yourself on the tree, you don't fall down, but you do sort of in the distance see 5 figures whose eyes train towards the large snapping sound.
Great. Then bonus action dash and the rest of my movement, 105 feet of movement, running the fuck away.
Okay. So you all are leaving. Where are you going? Because you can be popping these Aura Vitalities as you go, so feel free to just start dumping those. But what are you trying to do?
I think we're just trying to get as far away, but feel comfortable enough to like where we can stay and hide. I'm assuming that's our goal. Let's just stay in one spot, interrogate Grayson, but far enough away from the mess.
Well, you do know that you are being pursued. So the question is sort of like, are you trying to leave Muhtal? Are you trying to hide within one of the buildings of Muhtal? You do see, like, as you're starting to head southward again, that the workshop that Grayson was in seems to be like the fireball that he had dropped in there. The building is starting to like lick up in flames. There are other buildings that you could try to seek shelter in if you wanted to.
Do we think we have enough of a lead that they, like, this crowd is following us and like will for sure know what building we're going into, or
It's unless you do something to successfully evade them. Right now, you guys are just using your movement speed.
Yeah.
So if we want to do just a simple round of stealth checks, but I kind of need to know what your target is. Are you trying to hide in a house? Or are you trying to get out of town?
I don't have enough innate ability for an illusion spell besides disguise self, so I can't do anything to distract.
Yeah, I'm pretty capped.
I think we just get out.
Get out with the thought of we can come back if we have to.
Okay.
Everybody else, because I got Grayson in my hand, so I'm just following.
Okay. Everybody roll stealth check, and then Gerada, you being the survivalist, bringing them into the wilds. If you could roll me a survival check as well.
Everybody get their hit points.
You're welcome. I'll add tip.
I should.
Oh, 19. Thank you.
Oh, I need to add 2 more.
Secret dice. You need to unsecret those dice, perhaps, unless it was on purpose. We have overall higher numbers in general than the results from Clax and Aesop, and with I don't see the survival check. I think, Jacob, it says it's a private roll.
It's a nat 20.
Oh, okay, cool. I will take your word for it. But you bring people out of town and are able to, I think, quickly establish a sort of as you get past or into the tree line, it starts to grow thicker and thicker, and you're able to establish maybe 50 feet from outside the perimeter of town a area with dense foliage and like you're still are sort of within the distance of town. So if you were doing anything too noisy, you know that the town would be able to hear you, but you do know that you're sort of off any paths that most people would be able to find themselves as you sort of hunker down and enjoy all of the healing that Mouse provided.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we're not making a fucking racket, which we can't guarantee he won't, we should be okay to go.
Did anybody get any eyes on this group? Like, how many people were chasing us?
I definitely didn't. I strategically chose to end my reconnaissance mission early, because I saw a good 5 people just kind of show up immediately and start looking around the area pretty quickly, and I could imagine there being more.
Yeah, What do you think, Plax? Do you think we should try to do anything more here? Should we are we trying to deal with all of these people or just sneak back in later and burn their stockpiles or something to the ground or just leave or
I think the first question is we need to get some answers out of this guy, because depending on what he tells us, we'll be able to form a better course of action.
I'm going to offer this also, just because I'm looking at his spells and I'm realizing that Dimension Door is only a vocal spell. So although he had some somatic components that he was using to hold the spell, Aesop would be able to communicate that this is more than a tie him up situation. This is a kind of gag him situation.
Yeah.
Then let's gag him. Let's get him prepped, so we have everything kind of covered, and then we'll wake him up and see if we can't get some answers.
I mean, we know we cast at least one dimension door to escape before,
And then
presumably lost this one.
the second one, yeah.
So he now granted
You have no idea.
who knows what sort of spell slots he's got. If he's got some 5th levels or whatever else, but might not have another dimension door. But I don't think we should risk it.
Is there any way, can any of you prevent him from casting a spell?
Besides knocking him out again? Nope.
Yeah.
Well,
I could see if I could make him fail polymorph. I'm good at making people into bunnies.
oh, I remember.
Still really hard to
But we are.
interrogate him, though.
I mean, if worst comes to worst and he is able to leave, only 500 feet away, we could find him again. I don't like the thought of him teleporting back to reinforcements.
Which is probably what he'll do.
Yeah, but how far away are we right now? Like,
You're probably, I would say, 400 feet away from the lumber mill.
I mean, he's going to be out for at least an hour. We should try and get a short rest in and patch ourselves up and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what we could do to fully ensure that he doesn't cast a spell as soon as he wakes up, though.
well, gag him. Tie his hands. Right?
Well, I
Because
could. Yeah.
Well, that's he's got to have at least a. I think I have to go back and look at rules. Whether I think even for just vocal spells, don't you still have to have an arcane focus, or is that just for things that have a material?
That's just only material components.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, let's start by going through his pockets and just taking anything and everything away from him. Make sure he doesn't have a focus or spell pouch or anything. But
I strip him down to his birthday suit upon that comment. And because his hands are bound, I'm just cutting shit off. I don't care. Hand axes out, just trimming up his clothing.
Somehow more sad than I thought it would be. Okay.
I mean, if you want to give him some modesty, I'll say he has a non-magical tunic that Flint. We don't have to make everybody naked, but I'll say just in the time that you have to inspect his belongings, and assuming that Flint gives the normal magical coverage to this, you do discern, Flint, that the magic items he has on him are all infusions. This is another artificer of sorts, although Although for all you know, he may not refer to himself as an artificer because he seems to be more of an alchemist. But you do see that there are his version of like circuitry seems to be more in chemical burns than in like any kind of ink or anything like that. And so it is sort of flavored in a little bit of a different way, but it has a similar function.
Okay, so this isn't like, I know there's like magical tattoos in like the DM book or something that you can like remove.
No, yeah, I mean, he has those too.
Okay.
But for his infusions, he has a ring of protection, a cloak of protection, and an alchemy jug. You do know as an artificer, there's no point in taking these from him because he's not going to let you keep the magic on them. Like he can just sort of replace those at any time.
Yeah.
But beyond that, you do see that he has not only the fire absorbing tattoo, but also an acid absorbing tattoo.
Sorry, what tattoo? What was the last one?
Acid.
Acid. Okay. But those are both infusions.
Yes.
Essentially. Okay.
No. Those are actual tattoos, like permanent tattoos.
Okay. And they are not something that I can remove and
Correct.
put on somebody.
Yes. Okay. If you were to remove somebody's tattoo and try to put it on, that would be gruesome.
There's
you can't
magic items that stay to it, but like, yeah, that's.
He also has a mind sharpener infusion. He has this like small circlet on his head that helps him with Constitution saves.
Okay.
But would it be helpful if, say, I don't know, either before he comes back to consciousness or right after, I were to draw a little bit of blood in the hopes of making him just a little more tired, a little more loopy, a little less capable of doing anything, the thought being giving him exhaustion?
I think in his current physical state, you would be dealing damage and potentially kill him.
Okay,
it does do necrotic damage. Your spell does do necrotic damage, so it's not something that you can do safely.
I mean, if he starts to look like he's waking up, I mean, at the very least, I don't know, Clax or Draught or whatever could hold an action to, if he starts casting a spell, attack him and knock him back out. And we can
I
just
was
try to
fully hoping to be standing over him with a crossbow trained down at his throat again upon regaining consciousness.
Oh,
that
sorry.
sounds.
I should
good.
also, I forgot because I was so focused on his magical items. He also does have a book on him. Sort of like a green book that has a sort of like potion stamp on it. It's sort of like gnome sized.
Okay. Yeah, I think we try and get a short rest. When he starts waking up, we make sure we're holding actions to knock him back out if he starts casting anything, and try to tell him if he starts casting anything, we're just going to kill him.
Well, he's
But
gagged and bound.
we're open
right?
to talk. And
We haven't gagged and bound, so either way, like,
that's fair.
so I'm good with that. I definitely could use a quick rest real quick, and hopefully no one finds us while we're hiding.
And I'll try and lead through this book while we're short resting, I guess.
Sure. You all may go ahead and take a short rest. Somebody could just give me I assume it's either Draught or Clax, just a sort of like keeping watch sort of role.
Yeah, I don't need to take a short rest, so I'm happy to do it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that certainly feels a little better.
If you could give me a perception, Draught, then.
Yes.
Perception 20, as all of these dice are being resolved. First of all, you sort of climb a nearby tree that you're able to stay within the foliage of, overlooking the town, and do discern that the house that was burning seems to have over the course of this hour, seems to have collapsed. The workshop that Grajan was in when you first met him. So, sort of, I think it occurs to Drada, you don't know what could have been in there that would have been physical evidence in any of this, but you just know that building he's working in is completely unsalvageable. With a perception 20, you do sort of note that the screaming of trying to organize retaliation has dropped down, and now they seem to be kind of undertaking somewhat of like a salvage mission. But the alarm state seems to be of a group of people who are looking to leave soon. You can't hear anything because you're sort of too far away, but you see like them loading up a cart, and it's sort of like a narrow wheelbarrow sort of cart, but a little bit bigger. And they're looking to try to pack up what they can and get out of here.
I'll happily relay that once people are back from rest.
Flipping through the book, you discern that this is his alchemical notebook. I will give you the full text soon after I sort of summarize it. But it is very well organized notes by him that are talking about the creation of different types of vapor. It is, I think you probably look for this, but nowhere, anywhere does it mention Selnivan. It sort of is talking about the alchemical process of creation and the experimentation and all that. One version of this that he made was something that he titled Super Vapor. It was sort of like a code name. But that it would, if somebody was not able to resist the visions from this, it became so potent and long-lasting that the individual could not care for themselves, and needed to have somebody care for them. And additionally, although it could last many weeks, it would eventually be recoverable, or somebody could resist or recover from these visions. What you notice here that both of those criteria, that A, that the user could recover, and B, that somebody would have to take care of them, are sort of circled and marked as insufficient. Like those are not the results that he wants. As you continue to flip through it, he talks about the next iteration, which later is revealed to be fire vapor. He notes how the Boiling Over Pot Tavern was a facility where he would be able to understand the impact that vapor had on people's brains. And so he was sort of studying them and the impacts that vapor had on them. And he sort of made a discovery that vapor maps certain parts of the brain. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check, actually. It's not Arcana, or intelligence or medicine, I would say.
I think those are going to be this. Oh, no, they won't.
Okay. He refers to certain parts of the brain that are responsible for one's intelligence, as well as one's survival instincts. And he says that the super vapor was sort of like conquered both of those, but his goal was to find to use the normal properties of vapor that only attacked somebody's intelligence. And so he found through sort of the summary is that he was able to create a type of vapor that had the normal properties of vapor, but was laced in a way with alchemical flame that it would be ignitable. And through the neural impulses in somebody's brain, it would essentially sear the inside of their of the portion of their brain that is responsible for intelligence, the prefrontal cortex. And that this was sort of considered a groundbreaking discovery because it would not damage the part of the brain that was responsible for survival instincts, such as eating and drinking.
So this effectively just turns somebody into a, mindless zombie or
A mindless zombie that will feed itself.
Yeah.
Is sort of like, yeah. And so,
ish or something.
and that is seen as a perfect success, is that being able to create a zombie that can feed itself. Not zombie in the undead terms, but in the sort of like mindless terms. I'll put I'll put a screenshot of this book's notes because it does go into a little bit more detail. I'll put it in Discord. But Drada, you relay the status of the camp.
Sorry, as far as the camp goes, Drada saw that like people are just packing up and leaving.
Yes. Sorry, I realized I summarized it, and then I figure you probably want to read the whole thing.
All good.
So it's sort of like he's playing mad scientist with the idea of trying to control the brain, but only certain parts of it.
Do you guys have any concerns if I remove... Well, actually, does this book have the recipes for these things?
It is... I think he has his own cipher. You know that there's something going on in this book with regards to this, but it is very complex and would take considerable effort to decipher, let alone recreate. You don't know how difficult it is to do.
Okay. Do you guys have any concerns if I remove these parts that sound like they are or appear to be the, encoded recipes? Even if someone can't quickly figure it out, if we were going to give this book to somebody as evidence, I don't want anybody, city guard or whatever, having a recipe like that.
Yeah.
Seems safer
So
to
this
keep
is-
the recipe ourselves.
Yeah. I won't necessarily burn it yet, in case we end up needing it for evidence, but I don't think we should hand it over to anybody.
All right.
We
Well-
can go bury it with that book.
Mm-hmm.
We can go bury it with that other book that we didn't want to fall into the wrong hands.
That's so
Exactly.
true.
So it's
And then, like,
they were making biological weapons at this point. Like, it's no longer a drug, which is concerning.
Levon's
Yep.
trying to take over the continent. You heard it here first.
Yeah, so I'd keep it in the book until we actually know what we're going to do with the book, and then we can take care of it at that point. Because if not, then it's just another thing that can be lost.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to the idea, just for right now, if we don't know what we're going to do or where we're going to go with it or anything, might as well just keep it.
I will be quite apprehensive to hand over the book to anybody else
Yeah.
until we remove that portion.
Fair enough. Understood.
Don't know that I trust our government leaders very much either at the moment.
I'm with you.
Okay. I will leave it intact for now, but very
Thank
much
you,
so.
Mouse, for the heal, by the way.
You can tell me, I should have maybe said this part. So you read the notes, or you look at the notes, you give them what's on with an intelligence 22. The only thing that stands out is a gold cost. You don't know if it's the gold cost of the notes. You don't know if it's like the budget of this project. You have no idea how to decode this, but you see something that says 50,000 gold.
Oof. 50,000 gold.
I mean, he had a rich pipeline of funds coming in, so that was probably doable.
Well, and if we can find some other evidence in somebody else's ledger with that amount of money, maybe that is a good indicator, or can connect some dots.
Are we ready to wake him up?
I mean,
like in another, I'd say just sort of quick glance at him. He's like coming to, but he still is like in an unconscious state. So, he'll wake himself up in the next 10 minutes with 1 hit point.
I think I'll just be ready to kind of be there for when he wakes up. And if it's all right with you guys, I'm just going to pretty much tell him. I'm going to start asking questions, and you're going to give me head shakes yes or no. Because I don't trust you not to cast a spell or go anywhere or do anything. If you do try to do anything funny or crazy, I'm going to knock you back out again.
Yeah, and Drada will be standing in front of him, neutral face, makeup on, just crossbow bearing back down at his partially healed neck wound.
I'll be behind.
All right. Well,
This
he.
can't go poorly.
Yeah,
Just saying.
of course not. It'd be really funny if he had subtle spell and could dimension door without vocal components, but he does not. Eventually his eyes sort of flutter open and laying prone on the ground, sort of like he's adjusting. He is trying to figure out where he is and who he is in these first few seconds. Eventually makes eye contact with Klax, tilts his head.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to grab his face, point it so his eyes are looking at Drada. Then turn it back to me.
And Drada is just staring neutral face with like a smile.
And I'll bring it back. Good morning, sunshine. Do anything stupid, he kills you again. Understand? Nod your head up and down, and I'll let go of his face long enough for him to nod.
He sort of squints his eyes and then nods up and down.
Okay. We're going to ask some questions. If I feel you're being truthful, we'll see about letting you live. If I feel you're lying or if you're of no worth to us, then my friend over here will make you a pincushion. Understand?
He nods.
Okay. When is the next time the caravan's going to be here to pick up supplies? Or sorry, let me rephrase it. Will the caravan be here within the next 2 days?
He gives you the look of like.
Yeah, I forgot about the gag.
Sorry, DM didn't hear you. What'd you say? What'd you ask?
Will the caravan be here within? Let's start with within the next week to pick up supplies.
You start to hear a muffled voice.
That is a yes or no question.
He shrugs.
Is there a schedule for when? And I kind of look over at Flint. What was the other guy's name that runs the caravan?
It was the Fey guy.
Brigalia?
Brigella?
Yeah. The guy that starts with the name, Brigella. When's he come? Do you know when he will be here next?
He squints his eyes but then shakes no.
Where's your manufacturing or is your manufacturing location for the vapor in this town?
Sorry, I actually have to look at my notes. Okay. 1 second. Sorry, I am struggling. There's a particular note I'm trying to look for. He's being truthful. I don't know if is this a processing plant or a manufacturing plant? It's been a while.
I'm not sure I understand. Oh, you're saying whether it's the finished
Oh
product
yes,
or
sorry. Yes, he processes. So collaborating our notes here, he processes vapor, which I think you would interpret to be manufacturing. But yeah, because I guess manufacturing would just be like being candid here, because I think this may have came up in the process. Like, this is a milling factory. It's like a lumber mill for whatever purpose that is serving, but mostly it's just milling down the flowers as well. And so he shakes his head yes.
Okay. Can we get to the entrance and into it without a key?
He shrugs.
Okay.
And you start hearing muffled voices again. And he's going on and on and on, like he's sort of like talking to himself somewhat.
Okay, so then I think what I would do is I will say, all right, here's the deal. I'm going to grab the hand axe, flip it over so the dull side's there. I'm going to tap him against the temple a couple times. Okay, feel that? You say anything other than one word at a time, slowly, this is going to crack you in the head. You understand me?
He shrugs, but like in a yes way. Like an okay.
I look over at Drada. Drada, you're a little faster than me. If you see something funny going on, do what you got to do.
Grin widens a little bit and a nod.
Okay, I'm gonna slowly just grab the gag out a little bit. Got my hand axe held above his head. Speak slowly, one word at a time.
You remove the gag and he says, "Really?"
Well, at least you followed that direction.
Barely.
As this conversation is going on, since I'm behind him, can I just make sure he's not trying to untie himself?
Yeah, you don't see any funny, like you don't have to roll for that. He is obeying.
Oh wow, that's all.
Okay. So, where in town is your manufacturing production site, whatever you want to call it?
Why?
I don't think you get to ask any questions here. So, where is your manufacturing site?
He's making facial gestures of like thinking. He holds up like a 1. Well, no, he's tied, but he says one word.
A little slower.
No funny business. Let's just.
I don't talk slowly, okay? This is torture.
Hey. Tap him a little bit on the head. Slower.
Hey.
Slower.
If you need me to talk.
Crossbow goes like pressed up into his neck.
If you need me to talk, I gotta be able to talk.
Yeah.
So talk. Like.
You heard my friend.
So, good.
Do
Talking.
anything funny. Do anything funny.
Yeah, I get it. All right. What do you want to know?
Well,
Where the
everything.
manufacturing is? I don't really deal with it.
You don't really deal with the manufacturing. I find that hard to believe.
I've got people for that.
But
Well,
you
where-
still know where it is.
I mean, it's in one of the buildings somewhere. I trust Marali to handle it.
Who's Morali?
You met her. She brought you over.
The tiefling.
Do you mean to tell me you've never been to your manufacturing site here in the building? Because I don't believe it.
Not my concern. I'm a
So-
researcher. You think I get my hands dirty?
So you're a researcher. What are you researching?
Far too complicated for you to understand, I'm afraid, my friend. This one, though,
I'm
sort
good.
of looks at Flint. I think he knows. He also looks down at the book.
Yeah. I have an appreciation for what you're doing, I think.
Does appreciation get me out of here?
No, not like a...
What's the point then? Let's be clear. Funny business or not, what's in it for me? Talking about me getting out of here is not me getting out of here.
Let's start with this. What is your goal other than just getting out of here?
Getting away from you.
Think longer term, bigger picture.
Living my life.
Okay. So here's the deal. If you answer all the questions we ask as best as you can, I'll do my best to see that you live your life for as long as you can. If you don't,
You realize, since we're all buds here, you seem to be good friends with Stelny Vaughn. Is that the name I heard? He looks at Aesop. He's clearly my survival is... Listen, you don't look that smart, but I know that you're smart enough to know that she can find me, and therefore I will talk to her. So, you know that I could talk to her about everything that happened. And so, if I tell you anything, it's really just I'm digging my own grave. My only survival option, perhaps, is to not talk to you and escape.
I mean...
And then I can talk to her and she'll know that I haven't told her anything.
I think you need to deal with one problem at a time, and we're your first problem. If you don't tell us what we need, or we think that you are gonna, cause us problems, we're going to kill you long before Selny Vaughn does.
Ah, so you guys are the good guys then. You're gonna kill me in a different way.
If we think you're a problem, you're researching chemical warfare over
High
here.
morals from a deep water.
I'm stepping on the back of his hands. I'm getting annoyed.
thank you.
Listen, I'm just saying,
I would love.
without any assurances of my escape, then there's nothing to talk about. And frankly, the way to assure that would be to let me escape with my promise that I will deliver you the information you would like.
Is it really escaping if we let you go?
Given my situation,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, can I make a weird and wild proposal? And you can absolutely say no. Near the start of this conversation, right before he woke up, I would have loved to have cast Entangle upon him.
Yeah, sure.
And over the course of this no, with the specific goal of if his hands are bound and gagged and near the ground or behind, I would love for the vines of this entangle slowly but surely be making their way in between his fingernails, pressing and prying further and further and further as this conversation gets less and less productive.
If you like, I'd say he has 1 hit point and you're not trying to damage him, so...
I'm not trying to cause him enough pain to make him lose consciousness. I'm just trying to give him searing pain across the face.
I will say for flavor, yes. And give me I will let one person, because Drada's doing this, I will let one person roll an intimidation check. They could be Drada, but it's really Drada's spell. It's all of you are doing the intimidating.
I would like to make a case for me. I have a +9.
Sure.
Is that okay with everyone?
Certainly shouldn't be me.
I'll make it.
Okay. He's just. I'm not going to narrate the discomfort that he's having, but it's all very visible on his face, and he says, "Well, I seem to be in a bit of a situation."
I think the only way we can let you go is if we can trust that, like, you are not going to go tell Selny Vaughn, about us, or like that you're going to do whatever it is we need you to do. And I think the only way we can trust that that is true is if it is bad for you to do so. So I think you need to provide us some sort of evidence or some information that Selny Vaughn would not want us to have. Like, thus ensuring that you aren't going to go tell her you talked to us.
Okay. Let go. He sort of looks at Drada, who may be manipulating the vines, and says, "I'm ready to talk, but stop that, please."
The vines don't go deeper. They don't leave his fingernails quite yet. They stop moving forward in a way that is detectable.
I will tell you things, and then I will leave. But one of the things I'm going to tell you up front, before I get your promise that I can leave, is that she will find me. My ability to talk to her is not under my control. She stops by in my head occasionally. We have conversations in my dreams. So if you think she's not going to check up on me, and that I'm not going to have to reckon with that, then you're wrong. I'm not going to lie to you. We are going to talk. Now, I could still share a little bit of information, but I'd rather not get myself killed. So how about I tell you about the letter that I was going to send to her, but I think my notes have probably burned down in the workshop. So she will not have received this letter, but I will still need to communicate it to her. So I won't be lying to her. I'll just be telling her what she needs to know.
Which is?
I need assurances.
Wait one. Put the gag right back in his mouth. Step away. Grab everybody. Because he's entangled. He's got vines on him. He's bound and gagged. Kind of move away so we can talk. I don't trust anything this guy says. None of this seems right.
I mean, he seems like he's trying to do whatever he can to save his own hide.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we can get to a place where we get information we want, and it's damning enough that we don't think he's gonna go tell Selny, explicitly about us or something, then maybe we can let him go. Feels to me like if we let him go, he's just going to be trying to get out of this. This guy just wants to make money and do research. I don't think he cares that it's vapor or not.
I don't know what kind of information we would get out of him for us to let him go. If he's not making biological weapons with vapor, he's going to be making biological weapons with something else. I say, and that is a horrible man. Either I don't think he should escape.
Okay, Mouse.
I don't know. This all just feels very. I don't know. Like we're overstepping? What's really our goal?
Get information to shut this ring down and be able to pin it on Sonny Vaughn.
Then I think continue as long as it still seems worth it.
Yeah, I think the question is, what do we do with this guy? And I think the ideal, from our perspective, would be that this guy ends up in jail.
100%.
Like, we don't want to kill him. We don't want him to go free. We don't want him to tell Sullivan a bunch of stuff. I'm a little unclear how we make that happen. Trying to drag this guy along with us back to somewhere where we can get him in jail and convince everybody that he deserves to be in jail and whatever, and somehow not make ourselves into outlaw vigilante whatever, or implicate ourselves in that. Ugh.
So really, it sounds like none of us trust him.
Yeah.
And do we leave him at the door of the authorities with a note on pinned to him saying, "Hey, I ran a drug ring and had bad plans," like, and a convenient box of evidence next to it, like.
Yeah, but we still have to get him back there.
Do we have any of those, like, unifier guys that we trust to actually, like, make sure this guy ends up in jail?
An additional conflict. Sorry, go for it, Fox.
I was gonna say, I know a magistrate, but we weren't on the best of terms when I left, so.
Complicating thought or question. How do we know that our dear friend Selnivan doesn't have the power to immediately get this person out of jail?
Yep.
Like, is that a system that we trust to be able to be free of her influence?
Yeah, I don't. Alright. Well. We don't think we're going to get any more information out of him. We don't think it's going to be reliable. He's going to do anything to save his own skin, and we don't trust him. Alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going
I mean,
to
is
walk
there,
over. Oh, good.
is there any, like, unifier or magistrate, or I don't know if it's not really in the wheelhouse of your vampire group or whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying to brainstorm up who we know that's got resources or power that could imprison this guy or something until we can compile what we need. But I just don't know if we have anyone that's going to make sense to make that kind of ask to.
You hear just sort of like the not that he's within earshot, like you guys are sort of whispering and he can't hear you, but you know that he's sort of like trying to say something.
Right. Let's get what information we can out of him.
I don't think it's gonna be a lot.
Nope. So if you guys want to wait outside, I'll take care of this and tie up the loose ends. Or if you guys want to meet me downstairs or whatever we're doing, or wherever we need to be. I don't even know if we're in the building anymore. Sorry.
No, we're in the forest.
Yeah,
I
forest.
was about to be like, we're in the woods, my guy.
Yeah.
We'll go
Down
upstairs
the
in
wood
treehouse.
stairs.
Yeah.
Is that really the route you want to go down, Flax?
I'll just start walking towards Grasian.
I think I would follow.
I will guide Clax and leave.
I'm standing where we were to watch.
Like, so far, everything we've done is like they attacked us and whatever else.
I
Staying.
think as we're walking over, I look at Clax and just go, we've had a lot of really hard, meaningful, great conversations. Let's try not to make more.
His eyes kind of go wide and he just starts to like mumble more.
So I'll walk over to him and kind of squat in front of him.
So here's the situation. I asked for you to be saved, and now I'm really regretting that decision. And here's the problem. You made it abundantly clear that you're out for yourself. I have no way to trust you. You're creating chemical weapons, essentially, to do whatever with people. And I don't think you're going to have the information that's worth it, so... Any last words?
I'll look over at Drada before I pull the gag down. You want to get your bolt ready just in case he tries to do anything stupid here.
Rada's just like staring like dead-eyed back at you, just being like, really? Is this the direction we're going?
I'll just look
I
back.
mean-
You got a better idea?
I'm gonna look at Graygen and just be like, whatever you're gonna say, it better be good. Like, if you're gonna give us a reason to trust you and whatnot, because big guy's not seeing another way out right now. You're muted.
I can't hear
I
you.
think he's doing
Oh, he wants to talk. He's just currently gagged.
Yep, so I look over at Drada, and, kind of look down at your crossbow.
I mean, I ungag him.
He sort of like immediately blurts out, I know where Brigella is. He has something she wants.
Great.
And I need to be alive. Also, that's the important part, really.
All right. So I feel we're getting somewhere. So you're going to tell us this information about Brigella. You're going to tell us this thing that Brigella has that she wants. You're going to swear off to do anything with vapor or anything that could harm people again the rest of your career. I don't care what the reason is.
Selnivan will track me down, and we'll have to deal with that. So that's not really possible, but okay.
Well, here's the thing. We're going to take care of Selnivan.
That's okay.
Well, I'm giving you an out.
Yeah, no, I get it. Listen, I'll tell you, but I get to leave.
And you're gonna not deal with vapor or chemical weapons again?
Listen, I am who I am.
Yeah.
Find
me-
a
no,
way to
no.
make some legitimate money, you know?
I'm just pointing out that you, even though I've insulted your intelligence, you know that what I said is true. You know that this is just something I do. Not chemical weapons, but interesting research. And doing it for rich patrons. All right? They fund the work. I do it. I find it interesting. That's what I live for. Now, will I attempt to stay out of your way? Sure. Will Miss Vaughn let me leave her clandestine organization because I want to? No. So I have to stay attached, at least in some respect. Now, maybe I'll take it easy, but I've got some explaining to do when she comes knocking.
So you'll leave our names out of it, and once we deal with Selny, you'll find a more legitimate...
If
sort
that's
of
what you want to
business
hear,
plan.
yeah. I mean, listen. Living's better than not living, am I right?
So true. I think I get down kind of on my knees more and more to eye level. So just, a helpful reminder. Tony might not be the only one coming around every now and then to do some check-ins. Keeping on the straight and narrow is really hard work, and I can totally
I've
understand
already
that,
been
but
thoroughly intimidated, but I really appreciate you driving the point in. The question is, do we have a deal?
I kind of look at everybody who's still within eye shot just to make sure.
I think it's as good as an offer we're gonna get. I think we go down the road of killing him, and it's potentially gonna make our lives a lot harder. Like, gonna push us way more into that outlaw territory than good guy territory.
besides, if we make friends with him now, we can do so many fun drugs.
Fine, deal. I feel you reneged on this in any way, shape, or form. I'm coming after you, and I will end you.
Amazing. Untie me, put your weapons down. I promise to tell you what I know, and then I am gone.
Weapons don't go down. You get untied, and you leave.
Weapons don't point at me. I stand 30 feet
Done.
away, and then I leave.
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Take hand axe. Cut the ropes for his hands.
He's like sort of like wringing his wrists and sort of like steps of an appropriate amount of feet back, ensures that like he is making an effort to ensure that nobody's holding an action before he says anything. So for the purposes of this exchange, no actions are really held. Just let that be known.
Understood.
Amazing. So, you wanted to know when Bergella was coming by? He came by recently. On his way, their way, not sure, to Mistral. As part of the route that I think then goes down to Flamebridge, for all I know. He has what is in that book there. Points towards the green book that Flint has, and says, I couldn't deliver it myself, so Bergella is supposed to take it to her, but he kind of goes his own way. That one dose of fire vapor is pivotal to whatever she has planned. I don't know what that is, but it costs a pretty penny, and I was going to refine the process and maybe make a little bit more, but she wanted it to test it out.
Was that the 50,000?
That the 50,000 was the development of this fine town and sort of various rare ingredients. The potion itself would cost less if I could refine the process and have the infrastructure for it. But Bergella has it.
How often does Bergella come back on the route?
Well, probably never again when word reaches them that Muhtal no longer exists. One more question, and then I'm out.
I don't think we had a limit on the questions.
I told you that I had something for you, and I've provided it. I am being gracious now.
Oh, forgive me.
Last question.
Kind of turn.
I'd like to know what he knows about the Dark Waters, but it's probably less important.
You whisper that to me. I don't think he's going to tell me any more I want to know, so.
I mean, I was gonna ask him what his favorite color was as a bit if no one else offered a better question, so...
Let's go with Dark Waters.
That sounds good.
What do you know about the Dark Waters? Why did that name ring a bell to you?
Well, you look like one. Your eyes. You're from the Narrow Woods.
I mean, I left when I was like a teenager.
Well, maybe we've met then. I knew a couple of Dark Waters. They're gone now. Not my fault.
I mean, I don't think I ever even really knew any other Dark Waters.
You don't know your parents?
No, not really. They died when I was before I could remember them.
Well, then I must have known them. But that was a long time ago. Narrow Woods are gone.
Do you know how they died?
He sort of just like searches his memory. He's still paying attention to everybody's readiness, but he's just like, you know what? If we ever meet again, maybe I'll remember. But right now, not sure.
Okay.
So I'm leaving now. He sort of looks at everybody. And inevitably, she will contact me. We understand this?
Do what you can to not mention us in detail.
I will not mention the very singular group of a Minotaur gnome, halfling, air genasi, and dragonborn, which is a pretty unique combination. And we'll see what happens. See ya. And he dimension doors out.
I should have fucking killed him.
I know that seems like the easy option in the short term, but I think long term this is better.
I
As
got a
trigger
question for
happy
you.
as I may be, I think he's right. Go. Some people.
Why do you think he's right, Jada?
I mean, the inkling that like maybe we can learn more down the road, / I think we will learn more down the road. And also just like, I don't know. I'm not the most morally black and white person, but I was getting bad vibes from that choice. And I will probably find the words to articulate that better. I don't get your point.
Alright, well, shall we get out of these woods?
Did Mouse come back? Did you come back, Mouse?
Yeah, as soon as I see him dimension door away, I will come back to rejoin the group and just be like, "Did you get everything you needed?"
I think we got
our
ourselves
next destination.
and a lot more trouble, probably.
I mean,
It sounds fun.
hopefully he's in the same boat as the vampire guy,
Correct.
Prex, and like kind of stay out of our way and not be a problem and just sort of fade into the background once we deal with Selmy. But
Or we'll get found out and die horrible, painful deaths.
I mean,
Just-
could happen.
All right. Well, that seems like a good place to stop. You guys will be able to get out of the woods without issue. You will be able to return to consonants if that's the direction you. So we're going to move into. I sort of hinted at it. I want to move into a format of the game that is just a little bit more easy for me to prepare for. So what I'm going to ask for, if we just have a brief conversation, is there, between all the plot threads that are out there, I know there's a lot of them, is there a target that you have next?
Well, that sounds like Mistral to me.
Yeah.
Trying to do whatever we can to get there is ahead of Pergella and catch up with them. Maybe finally dig up that book while we're there.
Maybe.
We can go to the cave. A little past it, but we can go out of our way.
Okay. Yeah, the cave is a funny option too. But are you going straight there, or are you looking to return to consonants, or?
I think it's straight to try and catch up to Briella.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, consonants is kind of out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to like somehow get a message to like Arnold just to be like, hey, we're going to Mistral. Any help you need out there? But
To
I don't know if we
who?
can have done.
Is it Arnold?
Hard. Oh no,
Oh.
vampire.
Oh, Hardhold. Okay, sorry.
Yes, Hardhold. Although I now will be calling him Arnold.
Arnold.
I mean, we can send some messages on the road and
Yeah,
stuff.
and
I would love to do that.
Yeah, and with this game format, you guys can engage with it as much as you want, but I will create a text channel in Discord that is sort of like between games actions. So that way if like you're writing to Avendir or Mouse is doing sending, or if Aesop's doing sending, we can sort of like chat, like type out those engagements. But sort of the because I don't want those like those spells in that world building to go to waste. But and because it could inform future directions that you go. But I do want to. So you guys are going straight to Mistral for now, though, right? Trying to catch up or
Yes,
meet him there. Okay. Well, then let's leave it at that. I will not be prepared by next week. And I will keep you guys up to date on my progress, but it's probably going to take at least 2 weeks is my guess.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Yes.